Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood.
And we're live.
You say it this time.
And we're back.
Welcome to the Underdog Journey. I'm Wes. This guy is Dave. That lady is Nikki. And I didn't add her name to the card, to the overlay, so I apologize, Nikki.
That's all right.
Oh man. Well, you can't win. How you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good. I
Nice.
have to behave. I have to
Right,
behave
so-
because she's right there.
I
those who-
often listen.
She does often listen. She's a lurker generally, so she's waiting for you to screw up.
I usually just wait for him to say something stupid. I mean-
I don't typically keep you waiting
It
long,
doesn't-
do I?
It doesn't take long. Yeah, no, it's. You're a patient woman, though. That's what we can say.
Yes, indeed.
Actually, often after he says something incredibly dumb, I usually say, Nikki is a lucky lady.
I do hear that a lot. Yes,
Yes, and I agree. She is very lucky.
I am very lucky.
So
And here
let's.
are the kids.
Oh, here we go. All right,
We have started. We're live right there.
we just started.
Night.
Good night.
Oh, she got the
Hello,
kitty here.
world. All right, good night, guys.
You guys
Love
have a
you.
bowl of ice cream before you go to bed.
Oh, they
They
already
can't hear
have.
tonight.
Your hair is
They-
so long.
Have had lots of junk food.
Yeah.
Like easily 90%
Yeah, I took-
of their diet is just sugar. So
I took Penny out and for lunch today. We stopped. We got Chick-fil-A because the girl was addicted to Chick-fil-A.
love Chick-fil-A.
So we grabbed Chick-fil-A and then I went to Guitar Center. I needed strings for one of my guitars, and we happened to be, as soon as I said Guitar Center, she's like, "So we're gonna be close to Crumble Cookie."
He's on spring break
Yeah?
this week.
She's on spring break, so
Yeah.
Nice.
so we ended up, but we went and got Crumble Cookie. I had a bite just before we kicked off the show, so
That's
I'm happy.
awesome.
I'm well sugar rated here right now.
No,
There you
no
go.
Kardashian,
You say no Kardashians?
No what?
no Kardashian cookies. The
Oh.
That
Kardashians
means-
had cookies at Crumble last week. Each cookie was
Oh,
was
so Crumble
based
Cookie
on
had like
that.
Kardashian themed cookies?
They had large rear ends and fake front ends.
no. So
They were made out of plastic?
Yeah,
So
well, plastic
they're-
cookies.
one of the Kardashians, Kourtney Kardashian, like gluten free, dairy free, all this stuff. So they made
Oh, so the cookies
like,
tasted like crap.
Oh,
the amount of
Oh.
bad reviews that this particular cookie got,
Yeah.
unreal. Like I'm
That's
surprised
hilarious.
that you guys not come across a random video of somebody trying this cookie and
Yeah.
being like, it
yeah,
can't,
a live reaction video
yes,
to
like
taste
it
these
can't
cookies.
be this bad, but it is this bad.
That,
Oh.
well,
Richie-
gluten free, dairy free.
It was like the worst cookie that Crumble has ever had.
Richie Slack's watching
Vegetarian.
these. Says, gentlemen and lady, hope you all are doing well. I think we're all doing fairly well.
Yeah,
Stressed
Richie.
with the amount of technology changes that are happening
Yeah, so that's a whole different rant. By the way, Anna Calendar says plastic cookies does not sound tasty. No, it does not. Although it would be really funny if they like embellish them with like kind of big random uh frosted
Cookie
lumps.
Mouse.
We'll say, I don't know. Yeah, cookie mounds.
But it did not go over well.
That's good.
Yes, you
Um,
said
I'm glad
like
I
you
did
said
not.
vegetarian, gluten free, dairy free.
Yeah, like she does not eat like anything, so they made this particular cookie based on her
Oh,
diet preferences. It
yeah.
was awful.
So it'd
Yeah.
basically just be like kale and vegetable oil, and like that's it.
I don't know. It was some sort of chocolate cookie, and people.
So what's
hated it.
crazy is we get the gluten-free cookies that you can bake at home.
They're gluten free and dairy free.
Those ones are the ones we get.
Yeah,
And those aren't they don't
delicious.
suck. They're actually really good. You
Well,
know,
I want nothing but gluten and dairy.
These cookies
And-
are the best, like
they're not the best, but
bake and break cookies, and they're gluten free.
oh, okay. For bake and
like
break.
bake
Yeah.
and break, like to just throw in the oven.
Yeah, to just quickly throw in the oven. I can't remember the brand of it is,
like
but it's
Miss Lauren's or something
yeah,
like that.
something along those lines. But they actually taste good. I mean, if you're not told, and hell, even after you're told, you're not going to be able to identify it.
Yeah.
Actually,
I'll look for those.
it's one of those things where I've said a lot. It's like whenever you do something that's a niche product or this little gimmick thing, it must first function as the item. You know,
right? Exactly.
If you have a pair of tennis shoes that look all snazzy, but you can't walk in them, that doesn't function as a tennis shoe. It's a
Right.
failed product.
That's a good point.
Strangely enough, I know a lot of people that are celiac. Not like
You said people that are hemophiliacs?
celiac.
Oh, celiac disease. Okay,
Celiac.
celiac.
As in
I thought you said hemophiliac.
celiac.
I was like, you know,
Can't
some
have
messed up people. Okay, yeah, okay, that makes
No.
more sense.
So the chocolate ones that we like,
Yeah.
the celiac people that I know, those are not their favorite.
See,
Just
so
it's funny.
Nikki, I've been saying for a couple of years now. So there's a company that makes something called cricket flour, where it's basically flour made out of crickets instead of like oats and wheat and stuff. And apparently you can bake with it, and it looks and tastes exactly like normal flour. And I want to actually bake normal cookies and cricket cookies and see if David can taste the difference.
Oh, I would totally
Would you
that.
do this? Would you taste it? Would you do it?
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
trick him into eating them.
Here, I'm just gonna have you hold
No,
on
I
to
want to know
that.
if you would eat them too.
Oh, I would
There
eat
you go.
them.
There
I would
you
totally
go.
try them.
Right.
But I would
Ladies, not the gentleman. Ladies, I'm now single. My wife has threatened me with divorce papers and cricket mill cookies. So
David,
let me get my eyebrows sorted here.
David, we all know she can do better. You're not threatening anyone.
The
The only people you're threatening is the dating pool.
I made you cricket cookies.
So, Nikki, you know, I've sent you guys stuff through Amazon before, usually by mistake, but I've done it before. I will send you some cricket flour. I'm not going to tell David.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna make.
I'm
this
keeping it now.
Nope.
I'm gonna be on my guard. You guys feed me crickets.
Nope.
It's good protein, David.
So let's.
I can't
So
wait.
this is ridiculous. This is too far in. We're down to cricket. We're down to the cricket flour aisle now. Wes, what are you drinking over there tonight, bud?
David's rapidly trying to change the subject.
Let's get this show back on track. Let's
am
get this show back on
drinking
track. It's about the alcohol.
I'm drinking my old-fashioned go-to tin cup. It's
Tin cup.
oldie but a goodie, but it's delicious. It's inexpensive, and it's actually one of my favorite bourbons, so I like it. What about you?
Yeah, I haven't grabbed a bottle in a while, but to me that's like Travelers for me. It's $40 a bottle.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever even seen
You
it.
oh man, there was a time I went through probably 2 of those a week. Between just me and the guys, we would put quite a bit of hurting on them. Your mom says, "Hey Nick, what you doing? Podcast."
Hi, Mama.
Yeah. Hey.
I felt really good about myself. Bottles a week. Then you said you went through 2 bottles a week with other people.
Well, yeah. Oh, you're far from alcoholic than I am. So I kept it simple. I've got some E.H. Taylor
Nice.
here, and that's not a lot of E.H. Taylor.
You're gonna kill that bottle in no time.
For backup, I got a whole nother brand new bottle of E.H. Taylor.
You gotta have a backup
Just
bottle.
just
Yeah,
just in case.
that's like one pour for you, that other bottle, so you're good. By the way, Nikki, your mom says, "Is this your debut?" Nikki, is this your
It's
debut?
my debut,
Yeah, this
Mom.
is your first time on here, right?
Yes.
Penny's
First,
been on here.
first official.
Are you going to start a regular podcast going forward after this?
I am going to try to. Yes,
Okay.
that is
Well,
my goal.
today we're actually going to go through a lot of reasons why you should. So,
Okay.
yeah, we're going to get there.
So the
So-
reason for this podcast is so she can hear all the things I've been telling her for the last few years from somebody else's voice, so that she'll actually listen.
By the way, Matt Andre says you can ship it to me. I'm assuming he's talking about the cricket flour cookies. So, Matt,
okay.
I will
Cricket
send you
flour,
some
yeah.
fresh baked cricket cookies. Let me know if they're too crickety for you.
Yeah. And we got Nikki over here. We got to make sure we got what Nikki's drinking here.
Nikki, what do you? Yeah, it's true, Nikki.
Water.
Just
Water.
Nope.
Water. I don't. What is this called? I don't even know.
It looks like
Classa?
you won the daytime Emmy.
I would like to thank the Empire and the Rebel Alliance alike
No, I would like
for
to thank
making this
the
possible.
agave plants in Mexico.
Nice. So I understand you make a really good margarita.
I do. I
What's your
make
recipe?
Tequila.
tequila.
So
Lots
you're
and lots of tequila and a little bit of lime juice, and
There you
then,
go.
but all my salt is gone because that's my second favorite part of the drinking.
There you go. Sounds delicious. I like tequila. I would drink. I've drank a lot of tequila in my day.
This is good.
Uh,
This particular brand,
yeah.
delicious.
Good to know. What is it? What brand is that?
Clase Azul.
Into the mic.
Clase Azul
Clase Azul. I like it.
bottle. And so I have another bottle that's white with blue on it, but that is a golden tequila.
Yeah,
Or-
it's a reposado or something like that. Something that's brown. It's more
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I
got
don't like.
a little more
But
caramel to
I
it.
liked the bottle because it reminded me of it.
Nice. I like going to like really high end Mexican restaurants and get a mezcal flight. So you get the mezcals going into the tequilas. Oh, so good.
So I brought back from Peru. I brought back a flight of pisco.
Pisco, which is a
Ooh,
Peruvian-
yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. That's that grape liquor, right?
Yeah, I grape brandy or something. I don't.
It's like a brandy.
I don't know.
That's awesome.
I can tell you, it'll bring the heat on you without it burning you up.
The last time that I was in Mexico, we did mezcal flights, and they were on fire, literally.
Literally on fire.
Yeah, I've seen it. A little
So,
on
like,
fire.
it is literally on fire.
Yeah.
It brought the heat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. That's awesome.
So, no, Matt, talk about the E.H. Taylor.
Yeah,
I'm
he
not
wants
shipping.
the H Taylor, not the cricket cookies. So
That he's not on board for the.
He gets
flour.
the cricket cookies. I'll drink the E.H. Taylor. You take the cricket cookies.
well, if you drink enough H Taylor, you won't know that you're eating cricket cookies. That's the trick.
So I've got my handy dandy glass.
Matt Andre was
Right.
said it's aged in bourbon barrels, and that's where it gets its color. I'm assuming he's talking about either your bourbon
Oh, is it
or
tequila?
the golden tequilas, the yellower and brown tequilas.
This
I
also is aged in bourbon
Well,
barrels.
that I knew. So that is
See, I
Yeah,
told you
it
that's
really
one
was
pour for you.
one pour. It was just one pour.
Yeah,
So, it was a good thing I had a backup.
that's like
There you
fourth of
go.
four.
Yeah, mine has an ice cube in it.
I might need a backup. I'm gonna run low on tin cups soon. I might have to make another boozy protein shake.
Yeah. Well, I've got a bottle of Weller Green Label for you.
Nice. You so you're gonna open that up tonight? Your Weller Green Label?
No. I got one that when I'm over there, I want to try to pick up, and I've got two of them ready to pick up, and one of them's marked for you.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
If I thought I had to, I wouldn't.
All right, well, you're a good man, David. I will accept it graciously.
Oh, that is so good. I love E.H. Taylor.
That's good
It
stuff.
really is. It really is so good.
Matt Andre, you're missing out. You're missing out. I know you want that
Yeah,
E.H.
Matt,
Taylor.
you should get some E.H. Taylor. So, oh no,
What?
you want to actually give it a try?
Give Nikki.
I didn't
Do you
think
like-
you did.
Do you like bourbon, Nikki?
No, I do not.
Yeah.
She's not a whiskey girl.
No.
No, he's a tequila man. He is not a whiskey girl. That is.
Yeah, I've
Tequila.
I've tried sharing good bourbon with Kirsten, and it doesn't work out well. So she doesn't care for it.
So no, whiskey was what we had with
Into the mic.
whiskey is what we had with Johann.
Oh, okay. So she, okay, you did like that one.
It was good. Yes.
Okay, so she doesn't like bourbon, but she did like the Johnny Walker Blue Label.
She has good taste.
I don't know many people that won't like Johnny Walker Blue. I mean,
It was good.
it's very simple, very easy to drink. People that drink maybe higher proof stuff would tend to go, okay, that's a good simple one. But literally, if you were trying to introduce somebody to whiskey, then that's a great one to start with.
Yes, because I wouldn't have readily drank as much as I did.
Yeah.
Anything else.
Yeah. I like bourbon. I like the breakdown of the flavors a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Myself, I like the richer, fuller flavor of the bourbon as opposed to the.
Well,
and I'm not a peat. So when you start getting flavors in Scotch, they usually. That.
You froze up for that, but
I don't know what it was, but Dan says that's what she said.
Exactly. Very smooth. Maybe that's what she said. Thanks, Dan. But you know, Nick, if you like Johnny Walker, you might be a Scotch person, not a bourbon person. So Scotch has that kind of peaty, smokier flavor.
I do not like bourbon.
Bourbon's delicious.
I think I'll just stick.
Tequila. So we got so we're out here. I can't reach the camera. I'd turn it because normally we have my bourbon collection right behind me, but tonight we're out here. We've got 3 bottles of rum. We've got a Bombay Sapphire gin.
Mm-hmm.
The number 3 gin, which is used for the Duke's martinis, is in the freezer because that's where it belongs for Duke's martinis.
Of course.
And then you open up the cabinet, and when you open up the cabinet, Nikki would be embarrassed.
That's Nikki's.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This cabinet's Nikki's world. I mean, I'll have one of these rums occasionally.
I like a gin. Gin's delicious. You get a good gin.
The tequila and the vodka are in.
There you go.
Yeah. The tequila and the vodka and that stuff's out here. And man, it's been hit over hard because it's. I'm just looking up here.
Nikki,
I was looking up here like the simple syrups are hit. All the mixer stuff is over here too.
I'm not using that many mixers.
That did not help your argument.
Not that many mixers. I do like a good mixed drink. Like an amaretto sour is amazing.
We got a German
amaretto sour. I like a white Russian.
So the pisco that he brought back from Peru, one of their like main drinks, I guess, is like a pisco sour.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what he was saying.
That.
We could have had one
pisco sour. Is that just normal sour mix and pisco?
Well, so we don't do a whole lot of the mixed stuff here, and so it's got the egg white, it's got the simple. Make it. We would like when if you come here, we'll make you a mixed drink. You're going to get a actual mixed drink. You're not going to. There's no sour mix. There's no margarita mix. There's none of those things here. We make all of that. Come up and have a drink with us. You're going to get the full blown experience.
So your boozy snobbery extends into your mixed drinks as well.
Oh yes,
got it.
Like I don't do margarita mix.
Yes. No. I think that apply. I think we deserve some applause for that.
Oh, you get the sound effects now. That's funny.
Yeah. So this was my kind of bullying her into getting her podcast going because this setup we're using is not my normal setup. It's actually going to be handed over to her to run her podcast for travel.
That's awesome.
And before we get,
go ahead.
So let's see. She is married to David, so that may explain it. Thanks, Dan.
Exactly.
So he says Hendrix. Okay, so Hendrix gin is probably my second favorite gin.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I love a good gin, man.
I like gin My
A
head
gin and
does
tonic
not.
with a really good gin, and you can like taste all the flavors that are supposed to be there. I
Botanic,
mean,
they're
it's good
supposed
stuff.
to really break it down. So the level 3, the number 3, I think the number 3 gin, which is what I use for the Duke's martinis, those are served ice cold, so that the flavors come reversed at you.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
that it's the strangest things because you know me, don't bring me a frozen glass of beer, right?
Well, I know that. I know
But
that.
gin, it's a completely different thing. It's supposed to help freeze your taste buds, do some things, and not release the flavors until it starts warming up. So it presents a little different, and that's how they do it at Duke's over in London. Um, and that's why it's called the Duke's Martini. It's absolutely phenomenal. So if you get a chance,
The fact we're not going to London this year.
it's great. We're going to Hawaii.
I know. We let the
I
kids
would wait
pick.
a year before you go to London. I think things are going to change a little bit.
Well, we'll give them a year to recover, a year to figure it out, and then they're going to have about an 18-month war, and then after that, I'll go.
Yeah. Nikki,
So
honestly, this year you probably don't want to go. We're not going to talk about
yeah, there's
politics,
no
so
way.
you don't want to
Yeah,
get
there's
into
no
that.
way in the world. I mean, they would arrest me right off the plane.
They might not let you in the country after the stuff you
Yeah,
posted in America.
it's a good possibility. So Dave used to love cinnamon whiskey, and that's absolutely true. We've talked about this a lot. The Aftershock.
Yeah.
Cinnamon tea thing.
Loved Aftershock. Now, I never really got crazy into the Fireball, but Aftershock and Goldschlager.
Right. Oh, Aftershock got me through high school. Goldschlager got me through college. You graduate into your boozy experience.
Yeah. Yes. And now there are some people. Let's do Fireball shots. When I'm
I
doing
can
golf
do
course stuff.
anything cinnamon. I could do Aftershock. Do
I love
anything
Aftershock.
cinnamon.
Man, I wish that stuff was still
Or
around.
like
I think it
straight.
is. I think it's still around. Now,
I
did
looked
you ever drink
it
enough?
up. I couldn't find it.
Did you ever drink enough Aftershock that you thought it was actually a good idea to break the bottle to try and get to the sugar crystals? That's when you know you might have a problem.
We did that. We did that.
That's my point.
And then we're like, all right, this might be sugar, this might be glass. Let's find out.
Only one way to find out.
I mean, we all survived.
We've all been there. And Dan McDonald says, David pours it all into your mouth, then shakes your head 3 times, then swallow.
Sure why you
Them are
read
the
that
house
out loud.
rules.
I'm not sure what he meant by that. It was a little weird.
I think
All
he's
right,
talking
you
about
ready?
David's mixed
I think it's
drink
the cocktails,
rules.
the mixed drinks and the cocktails.
My
Yeah, that
mixed
was nothing dirty. Dan can be way dirtier than that. Matt Andre says, Aftershock, breaking the bottle open many times.
Yeah, calendars were on here earlier, so you got to watch out when John gets to his comments. It's gonna be good.
Matt Andre says Joe, Bentley, and Ricky. I assume there's some stories there with Aftershock.
I don't.
Joe Bentley. Good
Gee,
lord, I
Christmas,
forgot about
man.
him until just
Yeah,
now.
me too. Hey,
Poor Joe.
poor Joe. Yeah, there's some good stories with Joe and I though. He was one of the guys I used to go to dance clubs with.
You used to go to dance clubs?
Oh yeah.
David in a dance club. I'd love to see that.
That's
Nikki,
where you
have you
pick
ever
up
seen
the
David
chicks,
in a dance
man.
club?
No. So Dan McDonald wants to know, would you wear a red Parker style jacket with a yellow bucket hat in London? He would not. I totally would.
I would.
I could
you
see you
talking
in
about?
that, Nikki. I would like to
Kidding
see
me?
David in that. That'd be hilarious.
I remember George. And Joe fighting to get the back seat with Sarah. Now I think her and Joe are actually married now, so I don't know who won that, but they both wanted to sit back with her in the back seat. I'm up in the driver's seat, and I'm like, "What are you guys doing?" And they're fighting to get into this, and George gets in and slams the door, and rumble. So I don't know who won that.
That's hilarious. Matt Andre says now it's a gentleman's club. So
Oh, nice.
Probably
Wait,
go.
what is?
Probably a gentleman's club.
I mean, no, that wasn't. I mean, the place I was thinking about was a club called Chrome. We were at a club called Chrome.
isn't that right next to? Isn't that Vanity now? Didn't Chrome turn into Vanity?
No, Chrome was downtown.
I see. I don't know. I
So
don't go to enough
Vanity,
clubs. I'm not big on the nightclub scene, David.
Vanity is an adult entertainment facility right next to Columbus Gold, which I think it's called something else now. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'm not up on my my strip clubs lately. How about some news? You guys ready for some news?
Let's get some news. And now, then, oh damn! I don't have the rest of the story for this week. Son of a biscuit!
You've been slacking, David. You've been slacking.
I did it in Peru, but I can't have it for. You know what? We'll catch up next week.
Let's see. Let's see how much lag is going to be on our news today. Let's figure this out.
A lot. It's gonna be a lot.
A lot, I'm sure. I have no doubt. Let's get this going.
David would look like Paddington. I think that was the purpose, right?
You're seeing the.
Oh my god! I think
bars.
you just called me fat. I think you just laughed at it. Yeah, that's what happened, isn't it? Gee, Christmas. That's like the 7th time I've been called fat today.
Maybe I can get the news to load. We'll see. Oh boy. So, where is a nightmare lately? It is not behaving. So let me see if I can get this figured out real quick. Let's see.
Marmalade.
I'm not sure. So by everybody watching and listening, the streaming software that we use keeps paring away functionality and upgrading it to the next version up that you have to subscribe for. And we only find out about little things like this, the functionality they take away, until we start streaming. This actually worked earlier today. Now it's not working now. Great.
So I think with Mike Lazito, I think now I'm up to 8 times today
You've been called.
that I've been called fat. You called me fat before we got out of bed this morning. Twice.
No.
That's hilarious.
You were sleeping.
It's true
You
love.
were sleeping talking. Oh, yeah.
No, you were sleeping. I got out of bed.
Oh, what's up? What's up?
I like the married people squabbling in the background while this is being fixed. It's actually really good. It saves me from.
Yeah, I get my ring back.
I had
You're not getting that back. She's not giving it back to you.
Both of them. It really fit over.
That's that finger, sorry.
Let's see.
Teeny tiny fingers there. Jeez, I didn't call you fat. I'm just saying that's what the kids are calling you these days. Big back.
And holy moly, it might not show the news. We might not get news today.
No news.
New news. Oh, wrong
Let's go
podcast.
back again. Oh, there
I
it
don't know
was
if that-
for a very brief second.
Is the
Yeah, so what I'm quickly finding out is it's not my laggy desktop. It's actually the platform we're using is terrible right now, so I apologize.
Oh, we got something up.
We do have something up. So before we jinx it too much, here's the first piece of news. And you're going to like this, David. We were talking about this a while ago. A tech CEO has been charged with fraud for saying his e-com startup was powered by AI when it was actually just using manual human labor. Remember the Chinese AI platforms they said was way faster than it should be?
Yes. And didn't use NVIDIA processors and everything.
Right,
It's just a bunch of
exactly.
people sitting at terminals answering questions.
That's exactly what happened. Now, this isn't the same one we were talking about, but you and I were saying this exact same thing. It wasn't actually that fast. It was literally just a bunch of a warehouse full of third world people Googling stuff really fast.
Yeah, you just get Googling. Yeah, you just get Google result.
And they actually did this, so I had to
somebody
bring
got
this
charged with
up.
fraud.
It's
That's
hilarious.
nice. I like that. I appreciate that. It's things like this that make me happy.
What,
He
that
got
somebody's
charged.
being held accountable?
That he got charged. Yeah, that somebody got held accountable. And exactly what I said was happening. Yes.
By the way,
Forget
Mike Lazito
the
said, I
little
didn't call you
small man.
fat. Just saying the kids were saying big back.
Yeah, big back.
I think Mike Lazito just said you have a big back. I'm not getting
Yeah,
in the middle of it. I'm just saying.
That's still fat.
Laura Lyons Black says the kids at Games schools call each other big back. Is that a school kid thing?
Gabe's. The kids at Gabe's school call each other.
Gabe's
Yeah.
school.
It's a new lingo. You know, if you have like a baby boomer and like, you're fat, we're like, yeah, you can lose a couple pounds. those Gen Zers out there, if you say they're fat, they're all, oh man, you're beautiful the way you are. And us Gen Xers, man, he's like, I know five fat people, and you're four of them. So
Ouch.
I mean,
That's
we're a
rough.
different
Holy
breed,
moly.
man. That's just how we roll.
People are cruel. Holy moly. Matt
Hashtag
Andre
I am people.
Matt Andre asked if this was in China. Surprisingly, no, this is a US based company called Nate. I've never heard of Nate.
Yeah. What's the name of the CEO?
Albert Saniger. Saniger. Albert Saniger has been indicted and accused of using human labor, but telling investors and customers that the work was done by AI. That's pretty funny. I mean, I got to admit, I really want to learn more about this story because you and I were literally talking about this not too long ago.
Yeah.
And we were joking.
Literally, and we're actually using literally in its literal sense, literally saying this exact same thing just a few weeks ago.
What's funny is I feel like normally it'd be the other way around. Like he's using manual labor and
then using AI. So yeah, we make fun of those
right.
too.
Yeah,
Like the
the
so-called
whole
writers.
thing just seems odd to me.
Yeah, like every blog in the entire world.
Yeah, what's funny is
how
this
many...
article was probably written by AI about somebody using human power, and AI's over there going, "It took my job.
It took your jobs." The funny thing is, it's not actually. There's no such thing as AI. It's all just Bangladeshi Googlers. That's it.
The Bangladeshi, like that.
I just pulled a. I'm
Bangladesh
guessing
and
Bangladesh.
Wuhan.
There you go. So the AI is
Wuhan.
actually a myth. It doesn't exist. It's literally just people who are really fast at Google.
Yeah. So I like the argument. So the company I work for has its AI thing, and it's built into our teams, and you have to use it for certain things. It frustrates the hell out of me.
You have to use
And
it for
yeah,
certain things?
and I got into an argument with the other day, and I straight up told it that Clippy from the '90s was better than it.
I have told Siri on many occasions that she sucks and is completely useless.
Oh yeah, we tell Siri quite often.
Brutal. So I don't tell Siri
man.
anything. I don't use Siri, but all my other, like the Amazon thing that's over there and the one upstairs, that I'll be like, "Hey, you random computer, turn on this nightstand." Blah 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 blah. I can't do that yet, and I'll say the same command 4 times, exactly word for word, and then all of a sudden my nightstand turns on.
Yeah, go figure. That's
Meanwhile,
hilarious.
so we're going click click.
I just turned the light off.
But she also falls asleep with it off, which makes it convenient for me because I did not train it to do this. Okay. But I laid there one night and that light was still on, and I'm like, "Alexa, turn off the crazy bitch's nightstand."
Ouch.
Light went out, and the light just went off. She's like,
so even Alexa knows.
And he did.
I didn't train a single thing on it at all. I just did that, and I was losing it laughing. She thought it was kind of comical, but not quite as much as me. I don't know why, but
that's actually pretty awesome. I got to admit,
it was pretty funny, and it still does it. You can still say that, and it'll operate her nightstand.
He didn't
have no idea why.
He didn't program it, crazy bitch.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all.
No, not.
Well, you know, Alexa's always listening to your conversations. I mean, maybe it just kind of inferred.
Call me crazy bitch.
Well, maybe she's just listening to you being a crazy. You want that ring back now?
Let's move on before you get in too much more trouble, David. Next news item.
Oh.
6 countries where $100,000 in savings makes you financially independent. I thought this was kind of cool until I read the countries you have to go to. Yeah, Thailand. Let's see, Vietnam.
Out.
Vietnam.
Also out.
Indonesia. So apparently anywhere in Southeast Asia. Mexico. Let's retire in Mexico.
Yes. Out. I don't want to do that.
I've got to Cancun.
Portugal. So far, lots of places where you don't want to drink the water.
Yeah.
Georgia. Georgia, the country, not the state. Neither of which you want to go to.
Georgia. Like, gee, Chris, I'd rather go to Mexico than move to Georgia.
The country or the state?
The state. That's what I said. No, I'm just kidding.
And final thoughts. So basically, if you have $100,000 and you want to live in the third world, that's fine. Go ahead. Wow, this got dark fast. Let's maybe this wasn't a good news item.
Any third world country
Yeah.
and be financially independent.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. I
All
don't.
right, fair enough.
I don't want to live in any of those places. So I just got. I was in Peru, and it was one of the weirdest things that they're trying to brush your teeth using bottled water.
Yeah, how was that? How'd that go?
I hated it, but there's no way in the world I was going to put that water in. I was not going to drink that water or ice and all that. Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Did you pick up any tummy troubles while you were there?
No, but there's still time, I guess. I don't know how long it takes for that stuff to gestate.
You've been home for a while.
But I've been home.
Know.
I would go to Connecticut, so maybe I picked something up over there.
No comment. I'm not getting into more trouble tonight. All right, next news item.
Yes,
next news item. This is a good one. China's Unitree to live stream world's first robot boxing match. The G1 humanoids to take part. So basically, they have actual robot boxing now, and
real steel.
And in some cases, the robots fight humans. That's pretty badass.
There's a movie called Real Steel that Noah loved, and it's such a bad movie. Hugh Jackman, right?
Yeah, Hugh Jackman.
And his robot fighting.
Yeah, Real Steel. Real Steel is the name of it.
So say that again without using your Southern Ohio accent. Real Steel.
I said it was called Real Steel.
There you go. You sound like a chipmunk now, but it's not Real Steel. I mean, that's a whole different movie.
It is. Those are probably two words that I make fun of him the most for. So the fact that you called him out on that was.
She's like, "You're fat and you sound like a hillbilly."
Real Steel.
That's what I said. Real Steel.
Not Real Still. We're not Real Still.
I know you think it sounds different to you, but it does not sound any different at all to me.
When he says "still" all the time, I make fun of him.
So Richie says I said it the correct way.
You say "steel."
That's what I said. I get that you all think that you're saying things differently, but when I'm hearing it, I hear exactly the same thing. You're like, "Did you say steel or steel?" And I'm sitting here going, the first one, I guess, because I can't hear a difference.
You say steel or still.
Well,
that is two different.
Steel. Well, Nikki.
Still.
Nikki, which you don't understand.
Richie Slack, the man who is kissing a fish in his profile picture, says Dave said it the correct way.
Richie, you're not helping me out here, bud. But he is. We did graduate high school together.
There you go. So he speaks the language.
He can translate.
Oh man! So did you guys say you got somebody to translate for me?
Yeah.
Real Still. Real Still.
Well,
what I said.
In the spirit of Real Still, China is actually unveiling actual robot boxing. That's kind of sweet. I would watch that.
I mean, they made a whole movie.
There's a movie.
Noah loves the movie, so Noah would be totally on board.
But here's what they're not telling you. It's actually Bangladeshi midgets in robot suits fighting.
That works. I get it. And the CEO is going to be sued.
That's a callback. All right. So anyway, if that comes on pay-per-view, I want to see them fight humans, but we'll see where that goes. Yeah. Next news item. I put this in here because I like it. Say what you want about Steve Jobs, but he has some pretty good quotes. Steve Jobs says, if you want to make everyone happy, don't be a leader, sell ice cream instead. Here's why real success often means being disliked. I think he's right. Look, if you're leading a company or leading a group, you're not there to be people's buddies. You're there to run a business appropriately, and you're going to piss people off. So we're not going to translate this into any kind of politics. I'm just saying, if you want to make friends, go sell ice cream. If you want to get the job done right, then you can be a leader.
Yep, Plumber's Creed.
There you go.
Plumber's
so what is you gotta say that?
Lucy, Shit rolls downhill. Always wash your hands before lunch. Never chew your fingernails. Payday's Friday. The boss is a son of a bitch.
Never chew your fingernails.
Yeah, you're a plumber. Don't chew your fingernails.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
Yeah, all bad.
So
Bring
never
lots
chew
of
your
Purell.
fingernails.
Yeah.
Yes. So the idea behind that is, there's a lot of things there, and the end of it is, boss is son of a bitch. And if you're not willing to take on that moniker, then leadership is probably not for you. Because even as lackadaisical as you want to be, sometimes the job just has to get done. And that means you have to put the people that are in control of those positions or those tasks, and you have to hold them accountable for them.
Yeah.
And no matter how jovial or friendly you are, that day, you're a son of a bitch.
It's
You have
true.
to be.
Yeah.
You have to
So
be. You
if
cannot
you
be
can't embrace
friends,
that part of it,
which is
leadership and management's not for you.
which is why I'm not in leadership or management.
Look, the first time you actually have to fire somebody, it's harder than you think it is. It's a lot harder than you
Oh,
think it is.
I remember the first person I fired.
I would quit before I had to fire somebody.
Oh, I remember the first person I fired. It will stay with me my whole entire life. That first person. The second one was not as hard, but the first one was extremely difficult. And again, stays with me. I remember every word that both of us said, every single thing that happened from that conversation. Because when you're in those roles, you know that you're not just talking to that person. You're talking to that person and their husband or wife and
Yes.
children and
Right.
everything that goes
Yep.
along with that.
That's
So,
too much responsibility for me.
Yeah, and you can want them to do the best, but you want them to do the best somewhere else.
That's it.
We invite them to seek other employment. Yeah.
That's it, man. It's again, some people think, oh, I could easily, run that company or be that boss or run that team. It's harder than you think it is when you have to be a dick and you want to be friends with people, or you are friends with people on the team, but you still have to be a dick. Like, it's hard.
Yeah, you got to own your role, and empower them to own their role. And sometimes those get along just fine, and
There you go.
sometimes there's just no magic potion to get around it.
It's true. And speaking of dicks, I'm going to bring up the least dickish person that I think I know in the entire world, which is Rob Miller is in the house. So Rob Miller says,
Okay, yeah.
bring it in and put it in rat cheer. I don't know if that's. I think it's making fun of your accent again. I'm not sure what he's referring to there. Matt Andre says, how is Rob Miller doing? Are you drinking Black Russian Rob?
Right here.
Right here.
Right here.
Rat cheer. Got it. Oh,
You gotta put it
now
right
I
here.
get it. It didn't. I didn't translate that.
Well, I mean, I guess Richie and I guess, are the only ones here that speak proper English, I guess.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Yes, proper English.
Matt Andre says it's pretty easy to be a dick. Matt, some people are born for leadership. I'll just say that. Some people are born. Speaking of leadership, Matt, you have a product to develop that I don't think you've made any progress on.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna have to have words.
Let's talk soon.
Yeah.
But yeah,
If you're not
Steve
gonna take it and run with it, we've got to move on to somebody. We've got to move on. We got to make things happen. We're movers and shakers, man.
Speaking of being a dick,
that's gonna be how I'm gonna call people a dick from now on. Some people are born for management. That's just all I'm gonna say. Some people are born for management.
There you go. Or you can call him a dick and stupid and say some people are born for middle management.
Oh, you must have an MBA.
Ouch. Okay, let's move on. Before we get in real trouble. This is from Earth.com. Microbes found alive, sealed inside a rock for over 2 billion years. And some scientists thought it'd be a great idea to thaw them out. You can't see the text, you just see the weird picture. But they actually found living microbes sealed inside of a rock for 2 billion years.
Okay.
And, when the zombie apocalypse strikes or the next pandemic that has us all welded inside of our homes, you can thank these scientists.
Well, I mean, think about that now. Is this
the thing?
So I'm not going political on this.
Okay.
I'm thinking the scientific side of it. Well, I was thinking about something else at the same time. Anyway, the scientific side of it, of what that timeline looked like,
Yeah.
what did the solar system, just even simple as our solar system, what did our
Right.
solar system look like 2 billion years?
Ago. Yeah.
How much closer was the moon, or did we have a moon? Had we just had an impact? I don't even know what that. I should look into that. How long ago was it that we had the impact that spun off, that created the Earth as we see it, not necessarily uh, continental wise, but the rough shape and oblong
I
pear
mean, a
that we
lot. If I had to guess, I'd probably say about 9 or 10 billion years ago. But yeah, it's a lot.
have.
But
Well, Earth is only 4 billion years, so it's not going to be that long.
9
So
or
I was
10
saying
billion.
that's half of the length, half of the life of the Earth is when this thing came from. So that could be
Yeah.
pre-lunar impact. And then think about let's say it was post-lunar impact.
Yeah.
That would have
Well, it wouldn't have been
put the moon
pre-lunar
so much
impact.
closer. Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. I don't know what that timeline is off the top of my head. Usually I have that kind of weird stuff stored in my brain, but that's something I've never actually looked up. But even if it wasn't the closeness of the moon, we would have had 1,000-foot tidal shifts,
Right.
or more. I mean, the Earth would have been absolutely vicious at that time. It'd been awesome.
I mean, it definitely
And
would have been a completely different place.
Oh yeah.
So I
That's
was
kind of
thinking,
cool.
just studying the
Send me that link. I'll
DNA.
look into that.
I mean, I was thinking about just studying the DNA because, in humans, isn't it something crazy
Yeah.
like a huge percentage of human DNA is directly attributed to being deposited from viruses and retroviruses? So the simple fact you could study DNA from a living organism from 2 billion years ago before it had all the pollution of interacting with other organisms over time, I mean, it'd be amazing.
See how far up our current DNA is before we get to common markers.
Right, and all right, I was going to make a really political statement there. I'm not going to go there. Let's move on before I get in trouble. We only have one news item left because
I didn't even think of a political statement to say there. So good luck.
I thought
good job.
I thought of some really good political statements. I'm not going to go into, but I did actually have more news items. Unfortunately, I can't show them because our streaming platform stopped receiving system audio, so I had to pare down our news quite a bit. So we have one news item left. And it is, let's see what survived, if we can get it to load.
Good news.
Yeah, our streaming software is killing me, by the way. I'm really not happy with this streaming software. We're going to have to make some big changes.
Yeah. You guys are going to see it, and you're going to have to live through some growing pains for us here in the next few weeks because it's going to be something special. Although next week should be a pretty happy one for everybody.
Should be.
Yeah. Next week should be a pretty good one for everybody.
Oh, this was a good one too. I'm just looking at the URL. Man, I really want this to load. Here it is. It's pure nightmare fuel. You'll see it pop up on your side in a second.
The demon spiders.
Watch the ghost-like humanoid robot flex 1,000 muscles in new chilling video. We're not going to show the video because the streaming platform sucks. But check out this robot. And every muscle in this robot's body is hydraulic. And they decided to put like a white skin over the top so it looks like some sort of a creepy Westworld-esque nightmare. And this might be the creepiest robot. And then they chain it up so it looks like a hellspawn Cenobite from Hellraiser.
This brings up the question of
why,
or the statement of just because you can.
Yeah, you got a Jeff Goldblum this one.
Exactly.
Not so much about whether you could do something, and never thought about or should you do something.
Well, yeah. David, AI finds a way.
You don't understand. AI will find a way.
But they decided to make the creepiest looking AI driven robot ever. So yeah. I just thought I'd bring that up just so you can have nice nightmares tonight.
So Rob Miller's like, so what's your stance on censorship?
Well, as we said, this year is not a good year to go to London, Nikki. So that's probably a good thing.
I was literally at the bar the other night, and there were some people talking about travel, and they were talking about going to London. I'm like, I wouldn't do that.
I have a friend in London, literally.
Oh yeah, she's getting arrested right now.
No, she's
because we're talking. She prayed once.
she's having a
Hey,
great
London,
time.
she prayed once. They're
She's
going to go
sitting
arrest
at,
her.
like, London
Well,
bookstores.
if she's a Muslim, it's okay. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Crap.
Oh, come on, man. What are you doing?
It literally is. They have the call to prayers of the city, and so then it's perfectly fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying the UK government would prefer that.
Okay. Well,
Well.
we got vetoed anyways by the kids, so we're not going to London.
Yeah,
Fair
we're going to
enough.
Hawaii.
Back
But to be
the
fair, I
robot.
got to be out there for 2 weeks anyway, so it's nice. Back to the robot.
Back to the robot.
Back
Matt
to
Andre
the-
says, if
Have
it
to go
benefits
back-
me,
Back to the
why
creepy.
not?
But how does this benefit you?
This
Well-
only benefits anyone if you put clothes on it first, because it looks like something out of like a high-tech Hellraiser movie.
It looks like something out of Stranger Things. Like he came from the upside down.
Actually, it literally looks like. Have you seen Westworld? Like the later couple of seasons?
I have not seen.
No. I
So-
watched
Casey
a
Gross.
couple episodes of season 1. Did I get through season 1? I don't even know if I got all the way through season 1. And I'm going, this is disgusting. I'm out.
Right. So the final season of Westworld, it got progressively like really dumb as the seasons went on, like really just for no
I mean, it
reason, just
started.
incredibly dumb. And in the final season, they actually had robots that looked almost identical to this, just walking around the city and just killing people for like no reason. So maybe horror
So-
movies aren't where you get your inspiration to make your tech products. Just putting that out there.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, if I were to make a AI synthetic human or humanoid,
I'm not sure I want.
I'm
you
going to make it
into
look
this.
like the Chucky doll.
That's not where I thought you were going with that.
I thought you
I'm
were
gonna
going
make
to say
it.
Johnny
Thought I was
Fox.
gonna, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, I was thinking just if you're gonna mess with somebody, mess with them. I mean,
That's
just
true.
have Chucky doll walking around Comic Con or something. And they're oh look at this cute thing. I'm gonna gut you like a fish.
I'm sure somebody's working on it.
Yes. If they're not, if they weren't before, they are now.
Right, because inevitably, every time
All
some
right, so-
company makes a new robot, somebody's first question is always, one, will it kill me? And the second question is, can we procreate with it?
I was wondering how you're gonna phrase that.
Yeah, that's. I was trying to think of a polite way to say it.
I wouldn't say procreate.
Because technically, you
The
can't
word you're looking for
procreate.
is fornicate.
Well, I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Right. I
Like
mean, to
Howard
put it
Wolowitz.
to put it. Yeah. Yeah.
Get down and
Kind
dirty.
of bang it. And if
Yeah.
that turns you on, I think you need to double the trips to your psychiatrist.
Yeah.
You might need to go more.
In the next news item, the KY company came out with their own android robot that we won't get into right now.
Oh, I love the Kentucky company.
There you go. That's exactly it.
Yeah, that's hey, and I saved it. All right.
All
Smooth.
right. All right. So
Giggity.
All right.
Matt Andre says censorship. Yeah, that was a.
That's
think
what
I
he's talking
missed that
about. He's
comment,
like,
but
well,
yeah.
if it benefits me, then he's pro censorship.
Oh, I thought he was talking about sex robots. All right, fair enough. That would have made more sense. Nikki, are you still happy you joined the show today?
I am. Yeah.
Oh, we're almost. Hey, we got an hour in. Well, it's time to get us to it. I mean, that's what outside.
We're already an hour in.
See,
See, it
this
goes quick, doesn't it?
okay.
It goes real
now
quick.
you see how it
Okay,
goes. Okay.
All right. I take back some previous statements because there's no way that this has already been an hour.
Yeah.
Right. It goes
Yeah.
fast.
It goes ridiculously fast. And we've had a couple people on the show, and afterwards they'd be like, I honestly felt like we were on for like 25 minutes.
Right.
And
People who do-
I looked at it, been going for an hour and a half.
Yeah, people who do like a half-hour show or even like a 60-minute show, like I have no idea how they do it.
Yeah, I mean, well, they stick to an agenda
They,
like you write up.
they stick to a bullet-pointed agenda, then that gets to the point.
Well, and they have a producer over there that's pushing it on and pushing it forward, where
Right.
we have us drinking booze and having a good time,
Fair
but
enough.
not with sexual assaults.
No. That's the after hours
No.
show.
Oh,
That
there's a good
we're not
reason.
going to talk about.
Yeah,
You don't show the after hour show then, okay.
No. No.
All right, let's move on. It's getting really awkward now.
Yeah,
So
oil makes me queasy. I don't like the smell of it.
You didn't really need to say that. You didn't need to keep
That-
going. Wes was trying to subject and you just kept talking.
See,
Yep.
Nikki, thank you. I try to bring us back to some level of normalcy and
I
sanity.
tried it 10 minutes ago. You all rejected it. Suffer the consequences. That's how it works.
Fair enough. Boy. Yeah, pour another E.H. Taylor.
You finish that tin cup yet?
You can go.
The
I
team kip.
tried to correct myself before you could make fun of me, but I was too late.
No, after this, I'm going to watch Real Still, though.
You'll see you. Bubby will be. That's one of Noah's favorite movies. It's not a terrible movie, but it's not a good movie.
I have my
It
issues with it from a technology standpoint.
It's literally robot fighting.
Yeah,
And, like-
it is. I think I've seen bits and pieces of it. I've
Yeah.
also played Rock'em Sock'em Robots as a kid, so it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
Same
same
thing.
thing. So we could make a movie and call it Real Steel 2.
Rock'em
And it's
Sock'em,
just a video of us doing Rock'em
Just-
Sock'em.
Rock'em Sock'em
So would
Robots. Yeah,
Real Steel, or would we call it Real Still?
Real Still.
It's their-
It'd be Real Still.
Again, I know you think it sounds different to you, but it does not sound any different at all to me. I cannot hear a difference. And my back
hilarious.
up left, so I'm out of luck. I'm fighting my corner alone over here in my
That's it.
Rock'em Sock'em Robot world.
There you go. So we're going to talk about. We do have a main topic though, which is the business of the travel industry. So
Yeah.
I created an agenda, but I also understand, Nikki, that you have some talking points because you are a travel industry expert. You are.
I am an expert in my field of travel.
Yeah,
Into the
so-
mic.
I am an expert in my field of travel.
So here's what I would recommend. Based upon the way you're doing is you're looking towards the camera or towards a screen up here. So
Yeah.
keep it in line with it so you see to it.
Okay.
There you go.
Is that better?
That's much better.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, unfortunately with mics, you generally have to be like right on top of them. So
All right, we're good.
So Nikki, tell us about what you do for your travel business. Some of the things that you do that your customers like, that you help them with.
Yep.
Some things that you think that they want that you can accommodate them more with. What do you do with your travel business?
Okay, so a couple months ago, I was at a soccer tournament with Pip, and I was talking.
That's our daughter, by the way.
Penny, yeah, I call her Pip. I was talking to one of the moms, and she's like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, "I am a travel agent." And her first response, and I think it is a natural response from a lot of people, was, "Oh, those are still around? Like, can't you just do that online?" And you absolutely can. Like, I don't think that there was no ill intent behind her question. It was just, "Oh, can't you do that online?" And you absolutely can. But there are so many things that a travel agent brings to the table that you don't necessarily get from an online. Like, I have the expertise. I've done the training. I have done site tours. I have been to tons of different resorts. I've done the research. Like, I know when you come to me and say, "Hey, I want a family-friendly resort in Cancun," if you were to look it up on your own, you're gonna find like 200. Whereas I know the ones that are gonna fit what you want
Mhm.
as a family. You know,
So
there could
you-
be, hey,
Go ahead.
you could want a really nice beach, and Cancun has fantastic beaches, but there's also resorts that the beach isn't the top priority, and you wouldn't know that
So there
booking it on your own.
was a thing that came up, and I know you do a lot of work with Disney
Yes.
because I have been very adamant not to let Disney take over my world here. I don't let decorations throughout the house. She has her room, and she's allowed to Disney the hell out of that room. The rest of the house, no, it's off limits. She does get a couple hand towels during the Christmas seasons, over in the kitchen, but that's the extent. But there was a person the other day that reached out, and they went through all this. She gave a ton of stuff, a ton of work that goes into this, and they wanted to go to Disney, and then they were like, "Oh, I can get this deal over here. I'm just going to buy it
So
online."
she had let me know my brother is coming from Sweden. This is going to be the only time that we do Disney. We want to do all 4 parks,
Mhm.
meaning Magic Kingdom, which is the main one with the castle, what you think of when you think of Disney World.
Yeah,
Sure.
Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, and Epcot.
Yeah.
So I priced it out for her. She came back to me and was like, "Well, we found this 3-park, 3-day deal, so we're just going to book that on our own." So I had to let her know that deal does not include, it specifically excludes Magic Kingdom.
Mhm.
You can do that.
which when
is
you
like
think of
what
Disney,
everybody wants. That's Disney.
yeah,
Yes.
which when you think of
Like,
Disney
you're
World,
not
that's
going
Disney
to
World.
be able to go to this park, this main park, the park with the castle, the
Mhm.
quintessential Disney park
Right.
is not included in that. And
So
I
do
let
you-
her know, I can still book this for you, but I want to let you know you're going to miss a big chunk of what you're actually looking for.
So when
And
people
you don't,
book things, when people book things like that through like Kayak or Travelocity or whatever,
yeah,
do
yes.
you think they set up packages like that specifically, knowing that people won't know it until it's too late, and then they have to buy a second package on top of that to get into the
I
extra stuff they actually want?
would assume so. And that is, this particular one is through Disney,
So
but again, you would have to buy the 3-park ticket.
so the conspiracy theorists think there's conspiracy theory going on here.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm a realist, and
You're a
I'm
conspiracy
also
realist.
So I
Yes.
think
tell me,
like that is
David,
a
tell me
Disney
companies
promo.
don't do stuff like that.
That's a
I think
Disney
it's great.
promo. And I think Disney was like, "Hey, we can do this. And then you're going to buy the Magic Kingdom one separately
Mm-hmm.
because you want to go to Magic
Yeah.
Kingdom."
And when you buy a single day ticket,
They're
Mm-hmm.
more
I
expensive.
mean they're $150 a person.
So that's not a conspiracy theory, David.
It's not a conspiracy
Well,
theory.
yeah. I wouldn't say it's conspiracy theory. I would just say
You
it's
did say it's
excellent.
conspiracy theory.
I said you theory
So
because you're a conspiracy theorist. I say it's excellent marketing.
it's a lucrative business practice, we'll say. So Nikki, you
Yeah.
are so you provide a much more agents like you provide a much more customized experience than like a
Yes.
Travelocity or a Kayak or
Oh,
whatever.
absolutely. One of the things that we say that we're, above all that is, if there's a problem
Mm-hmm.
Yo,
on a
I'll
trip that we have booked, you're going to call us and you're going to
Mhm.
talk to a real person.
Mhm.
Whereas if you book through Travelocity, you're fucked. Like, you're not going
You're
to.
going to their AI queue.
Yes, you're not going to talk
Right.
to a real person. You're
Yeah.
not going to get any sort of answer. You're going to get the runaround. Whereas, hey, my flight got canceled. What do I do? They're like, "Oh, you're on your own." Whereas we're going to, do everything in our power to find you a different flight that works for what you need while you're,
I've seen it
Yeah.
firsthand.
Right.
I've seen it firsthand. Let's see that everything goes perfect. You have the idea of when you're going to go, what you're going to do. Let's keep with Disney on the theme at the moment. And do you know when you have to book your what is it, magical extras?
So there's dining reservations and magical extras that you can
magical,
book. So like the big dining reservations, or if you wanted Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique to get the princess makeover, or to build your lightsabers.
I love the Bippity Boppity Boutique because when they make me over to look like a princess, it's like fabulous.
Well, those are at 60 days, but the magical extras like Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and the lightsabers or build your droid, that's at midnight. Are you going to get up at midnight to do it for you, or is your travel agent going to do it on your behalf?
Right.
While you're
Or are you not going to know that you actually need to do this?
yes,
And
right.
completely
miss it after the fact.
And
If
then when you walk up and they go, "I'm sorry, you had to book that online."
like, if you don't have a Bibbidi
90
Bobbidi
days ago.
Boutique reservation at
Mhm.
60 days, you're not going to get one. Like,
Yeah.
that's not going to.
I mean, you're going to be eating at what's the hot dog joint just inside and it's up and to the right,
Casey's Corner.
Casey's Corner. And don't get me wrong, Casey's Corner is awesome, but it's a hot dog joint.
And dining reservations open 60 days before your trip.
So
So
what? Mhm.
you need to know, like, kind of a general idea of what day you're doing what. And as a travel
Right.
agent, we're going to tell you, don't go to the Magic Kingdom on Monday. It's busy. Epcot's really busy over the weekends. Like
Oh, I
you're
love
not
Epcot.
you're not going to know that, but we're going to give you that expertise. Like, hey, maybe you should do this
Yeah,
park
flip some
this
stuff around.
day.
You get more
Sure.
in.
Yeah.
So
So do you remember our first trip to Disney? We
Yes.
just bought tickets and went.
Yes. I mean, we did a package,
Well,
but
we did a package, but we just went.
booked dining like the day up, and
Yeah.
that is,
And we
I mean,
waited. We
yes.
lost a lot of our time in these places in Disney waiting.
It was I mean,
yeah.
Bubby was sick, so
Yeah, well,
remember,
we went
we're
to
like
Hollywood
14 years
Studios.
ago.
It was a couple minutes ago.
So
Yeah.
what agents like you provide is more of like a concierge service, like a very customized experience, right? So
Yeah.
let me ask, what
Change your own
do you feel
naming.
like?
I
as
like
a
that.
concierge
Travel
kind of.
concierge.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
there's something to that because I think
That's a
people,
branding. That's a branding
it's because
impact
it is a
right
branding
there.
thing. People. How do you like feel that people might experience the word agent versus concierge or something like that? That's a different conversation.
I do.
My question for you is
It-
I
about your
know.
customers. Do you feel
Yeah.
like maybe some people just don't know about services like yours, or do you feel like the customers that you get are distinctly different from the types of people who would typically use a kayak or a Travelocity or something?
I feel
I just want to write that down so we can forget.
like people, clients that reach out to us don't realize the extent of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And in that same breath, we get a lot of repeat clients
Mm-hmm.
that I mean, I had a client today that reached out today. He just got off a cruise. What is it? Thursday? He got off a cruise Sunday, booked a cruise that Sunday for the following year. Called me today, was
Sure.
like, I kind of want to book one over Memorial Day
Right.
and
Yeah.
book in
Done.
an hour.
Yeah.
Well, so here's an interesting trend that I think is you're really going to see take off over the next couple of years. Since AI is becoming so prolific everywhere you look in every industry, that human touch is something that people are missing. That human
Oh
touch,
yeah.
just talking to a human, getting that
Yeah.
actual personal experience that understands what you're looking for and isn't just like a computer crunching
Just gonna
numbers
spit out.
that doesn't really know you or what you're looking for.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
That deserves a round of applause.
Everything I say
And
deserves a round of applause.
and actually talking to somebody, because some things can get lost in translation, even through like an email or message. And when you talk to somebody and talk it through, you're going to find out what they're really looking for or what you really can provide to the client, and it's going to make a different trip than just something that you can look up online.
Mhm.
And we know that not everything you look online is true. You
Right.
can get information, or hey, I need this document to go to this country.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then, no, you don't, or you do need this particular
Yeah.
document.
Let's
And
look
Yeah,
at
that's a
cruising
good point.
because we've talked about a lot about Disney. Let's
so
talk about
hold on,
cruising.
before
Oh, I'm sorry.
before we go there,
Go ahead.
I do get a lot of people that are like, "Oh, I didn't realize you did other trips besides Disney." Like Disney is kind of like my go-to. It's my favorite, but I can book trips. I can book all cruise lines. I can book all inclusives in Mexico. I can, do a road trip in the US. I can do overseas. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot that people don't realize just because I happen to be like a Disney fan.
She's a Disney nerd.
Yes. But there's a lot of different options that I can. Or even if
What?
you come to me and
Mhm.
say, "Hey, I want to go here." If it's not something that I'm comfortable with, like I've never been there. I don't know how to help you. I have a whole agency of people that have been or have experience that I can be like, "Hey, I need your help," or I'm gonna send this client to you because I know you're gonna give them more help than I can.
Right. So
And
here's a
I
question.
Yeah.
What do you think is the most important service that you offer or help that you can provide? The most important, but the least asked for, or least understood. Like something that people really need the most, but they don't quite think that they need.
I know the answer to this question.
And what do you say? Are you going to say timing, or are you
I'm
going
going
to
to say
say
timing.
yeah?
I'm going to go with timing.
Yeah.
People are so far behind the timing curve of when you should be planning. So if you want to have, so I love cruises. To me, that's a vacation. I like to go. I lay everything down. I do not buy the data package. I do not want people to get a hold of me. I download a ton of videos and movies and books and stuff to my iPad. I like sitting on my balcony. I like watching the world go by. But I typically reserve those a year in advance. Like the day that they become available, I want to book them.
So with cruises in general, you're going to pay less the further that you look ahead. The closer it gets to the cruise, the more expensive it becomes.
So
Depending on
Royal
some people might not.
so people don't know this, that Royal Caribbean drops on this kind of window.
Yeah.
Disney drops on this window, and Virgin drops on this window, and there's these different time frames, and it doesn't take a huge amount of money to book. And there have been times when I've had to shift and shift and shift, and then okay, that one's actually going to work for us, but I buy it the moment that it's available, so that I get the absolute best deal.
And
why do I know this? Because I happen to have a travel concierge sleeping with me. So I mean, it works for me.
That would help. I tried to have a travel concierge sleep with me, and my wife disagreed with it, so it didn't work out well.
We have clients like, hey, I want to cruise. So right now you can book through like spring of 2026, but say like, hey, I really want to go on a Disney cruise in fall of 2026. They're not available to book that, but we're going to have the opportunity of like, hey, I can book this right now. We can let you know, hey, booking starts next week for these cruises.
So
and reach out to you and get you the best deal possible.
So yeah, this goes back to my answer of timing.
Yeah.
That number one thing that a travel concierge brings to the table is the understanding of timing. That's going to get you the most the most excitement, the most relaxation, the most bang for your buck. And that timing is going to be all important, because if you wanted to pistol whip out and go to, that's a terrible analogy, David. Don't do that.
And don't ever do the finger guns. Don't.
If you ever just wanted to off the cuff go to Disney, now you understand why I said it and changed it. If you just wanted to off the cuff, just hey, I want to go to Disney, you don't have a shot at you're going to be, if you are absolutely supremely lucky, you might be able to get to do the Bippity Boppity Boutique, get made up like a princess. It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's a great time. I recommend everybody do it.
If say you wanted to go next month,
Oh,
you could book a trip. You could book a trip. You could go. The dining reservations that you're going to want to go to,
they're going to be full.
They're gone.
They're gone.
They've been gone.
You're not going to. As a guy who has done Disney a lot, Cinderella's Royal Table, overrated. First of all, but you have to do it. It's in the castle, so you have to do it at least once or twice. But that books up way in advance.
But again, along the lines of
timing.
Travel concierge.
It's timing. You need to know.
Wait.
It's timing.
Wait, I have more to this.
But wait, there's more.
As a travel concierge.
Thanks, Ben. We were waiting on that.
Yeah, so are you talking about the spam in the comments?
Yeah, the spam.
So I'm reading down the comments, and it actually says, I mean, apparently he's really good. So down in the comments, it says, Dr. James also has other cures for things like HIV, AIDS, hepatitis, cancer, heart disease, migraines, and cold sores. He can cure.
Hey, Ben, I think your account has been hacked, my friend.
I think Ben Williams' account has been hacked. I will not be going to Dr. James. Apparently he can cure my diabetes and my cancer at the same time.
Yeah, this is driven by AI, which is code for an Indian in Bangladesh.
Okay.
Well, Bangladeshi in Bangladesh.
we can circle back.
Did you just say circle back? Did you? You got a drink.
Yeah, so let's we have the bandwidth. Let's circle back on that, and when we
Oh,
reach the proper level of synergy, we can have a drink.
As a travel concierge, we have other things in our back pocket that, hey, I didn't get this dining reservation, but hey, let me put out we have a couple different companies that we look for that literally comb through reservations, and they let us know, hey,
Yeah.
one's available. And we've been able to get a hard to find, can't find it reservation a week before a trip.
Yeah, but you're not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
No, you're not going to do that.
I'm going to say it. Yes. You're going to do that.
Right.
A client's not going to do it. We're not going to wait.
I'm not going to know that I needed to do it.
Fair enough.
Because I didn't know what the timing was.
Yeah.
And B, let's say something drops on me and I get an opportunity to do it. I go. If I don't use a travel concierge, then
like if
I don't have somebody out there fighting my corner for me.
If
and it just doesn't work.
Somebody that was like, hey, we really want 51 boutique. Like this is the main thing for our trip. Our daughters really want it. I am going to wait.
What time is that one?
That's midnight, 60 days before your trip.
Midnight. So the fat guy, the big back that's laying next to her, gets woke up from the freaking alarms at midnight. And then is there another one at 2?
There's another one at 6 a.m.
Okay, so then it's 6 a.m.
60 days at 6 a.m. So I have
60 days. So Big Back Dave here gets woke up at midnight because she's booking the Bippity Boppity Boutique. Then at 6 a.m. Big Back gets woke up again because she's booking Cinderella's table or Be Our Guest, which is Be Our Guest to me is like that's number one.
But like if a client comes to me and is like, hey, Bippity Boppity Boutique is a be all end all of our trip. Like that is why we were doing this.
Yeah.
We're gonna put alerts out there. And me as a travel agent and all the other agents in my agency, like I'm going to wait by the phone. If that alert goes off at 3 a.m.,
right.
I'm trying to get that at 3 a.m. for my client. And you're gonna wake up to an email like, hey, I got 50 for you while you were asleep.
So I have a question though.
Yes.
So I have a question though. Do you so I'm in marketing, so I'm naturally thinking about stuff like this. Do you keep track of like a list of leads or clients or customers that you know their specific interests? You have them segmented in different groups, and when things like this pop up, as soon as they come available, maybe do you send out like emails to say, hey, by the way, this thing came up. If you want to plan for this, plan right now. You're going to get the best price.
I mean, if we have people that are like, hey, I want to do Disney in 2026, like we're waiting on like pins and needles for Disney 2026 packages. Really.
So do you keep track of them so you can like early reach out to them?
Yes, we have a list of people and we know what they're looking for. So the day that it drops, we're gonna put quotes together. We're gonna send them out to these people like, hey, we can book this now.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
So they use a CRM. I'm not sure what the what version of CRM that they're using or what flavor of CRM they're using, but they could probably parse that data a little bit more and have some things that they could do some proactive marketing out of.
So you can easily segment people into different groups, and they have interests in different areas. You can say this group of people. Sorry, go ahead.
It is April 17th. April 30th is technically halfway to Halloween, and that is a big thing. And it is usually around that time that Disney World and I know I'm focusing a lot on Disney World.
Disney's a large destination.
It's a niche that we're talking about. Yeah, it's a destination.
But it does give a good example of the situation.
So a lot of people are waiting for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party tickets.
All right. Okay, hold on. Pause. I refuse to go back to the Magic Kingdom. Refuse. I will not go back. I've done everything there.
Or they won't let you back in.
Many times. No, I've done everything there multiple times. I'm good. However,
You would go.
I will go back for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parties.
So this particular party is a separate ticketed event. It is after hours. You can enter the Magic Kingdom usually like 4 o'clock. It goes to like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
It's amazing.
It's a separate ticketed event. But we have people that, we either know that they want to go or are traveling during this time. So the minute that we get notification like, hey, you can buy Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween tickets, an email goes out to all of those people.
So
Hey,
so they're doing it already,
yeah,
but on
yes,
a more niched basis.
yeah. Like people that we know either want them or are traveling during that time that are able to get those tickets.
Yeah, that would be. I
And
mean, that's
and
a
we're
great.
gonna
That's a great thing.
yeah, and we're gonna get those. Oh, hey, I didn't even know that was an option. Yeah, let me grab
Yeah.
those tickets.
Sure, that makes
And
sense.
Yeah, I'll do Epcot. If I never step foot in Animal Kingdom again, I'm good. I've been to a zoo. I'm good. Hollywood Studios. I'm. It's 7 square feet. I'm good. Epcot. I will go to Epcot every day of the week,
I will
mainly
go to
because it has a
Epcot every
German.
day
It
of the week.
has a German pavilion. It'll be about that. And there's a game. World,
Epcot has
and you can drink around the world. I have a T-shirt
See,
for that.
now that sounds.
yeah.
I'm in for that.
Yes.
so Epcot has World Showcase, which is 11 different countries that
Yeah.
you're going to go to. You're going to
Currently,
visit.
they're adding something.
Yes, and now they're finally bringing back. At COVID, they sent a lot of people away, but now they're bringing back the cast members that are working in these different countries in Epcot are from these countries. So you're going to go and you're going to get a conversation with, say you want to go to the Japan pavilion, you're going to talk to somebody from Japan. You're
Yeah.
going to go to shops that are in Japan. You're going to have Japan culinary experiences,
Mm.
and that happens all around the world. And I think people don't realize that that's a thing. And that's my favorite part of Disney is going to the different countries, talking to the different people,
Right.
and like going to the different shops.
Yeah.
But you're
So there's a whole front part of Epcot.
Yeah.
I could care less. It can
Well,
go
I
away.
mean, now it has
I don't
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't want anything to do with it. It's where all the kids are.
No.
I want the World Showcase where the booze is.
Right. But Nikki, you were saying, so if you want to book for like October, you need to start looking like right now. Right? So you mentioned
Yeah.
Nikki's Haunted Kingdom or whatever it's something like that.
Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
Nikki's Haunted Kingdom. Nikki's Haunted Kingdom. That's what I call our bedroom.
He's terrifying.
I'm picturing this for Mickey's Halloween Party, which is
So-
have you seen this movie, Nikki? It's called I Heart Willie. This is a real thing.
So
That's
this
terrifying.
came out just shortly after Disney lost the battle to continue the copyright laws for the original Steamboat Willie.
Right. So
So this came out shortly thereafter once it hit the public domain. So there were people nipping at the bit, as it were, to use an equestrian turn of phrase. I don't have a mouse turn of phrase. There were people
champing at the cheese is what they
champing at the cheese, as it were,
yeah.
and they were ready to go.
So Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. It
not
literally
this.
says in the title, not so scary.
Yeah,
Like,
not so scary. It's not that.
It's not. It is for kids. It's 100%. If you want something like this, you're going to go over to the other side of
Universal.
Orlando, and you're going to go to Universal Studios, and you're going to go to Halloween
So,
Horror
so
Nights.
Tina Lyons is watching right now, and I happen to know personally that Tina has quite a bit of experience
They
with.
love
Is
HHN.
Is it
It's
Halloween
HHN, Halloween Horror
Horror
Nights.
Nights
Yes.
over? Yeah,
And
So I
so
like
me and
Universal.
Noah went to
Yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights.
and Noah peed himself,
Noah-
like all down his leg.
It was he did not.
I just made that up.
This was like just last year.
We
Yes,
went,
it
yeah,
was
we,
just last
we
year.
went in October for his birthday. It was
Oh.
the most
Was it too
terrifying thing
scary?
I've done in my life. I would do it again. I thought
Was it really
fun.
scary?
It was. I
Oh,
mean, people like jump out. So me and my friend were walking through, like,
No.
as we walk through the
No.
entrance, it's like this cool Hollywood Horror Nights sign, and there's fog. And at this time that we're walking through, there's a shit ton of fog. Like, I can't see a thing. I can't even see my friend Kristen, who's standing right next to me.
is she hot?
The next thing we
We don't know.
know,
We couldn't see her.
there is a guy with a chainsaw. I see not. He's right here in front of my face.
Oh
I
man.
couldn't see him until I got out of the fog, and he's right in front of my face. I screamed bloody murder.
So
So
wait-
I almost peed my pants. and was almost had an anxiety attack because he
That's
scared
awesome.
so badly.
So I find something funny here. Is Ben Williams posted this crazy thing, and somebody named Jontana Mia hearted it.
Well, obviously, John Tana was not the person who
Every
hacked
stuff.
Ben Williams' account to post this thing.
And then liked it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right. So, but if you're ever
That's
interested in curing your HIV, AIDS, cancer, hepatitis, B
I mean,
or C,
diabetes.
if he can help me
Diabetes.
with my migraines, I may take him up on that.
migraines is on the list. So go to Dr. James. He can cure it all. All you need to do is email him at his random Gmail account or call him on his WhatsApp number. You know it's
Yeah.
legit if they're using WhatsApp.
And then
I
send
have a
him
WhatsApp.
my credit
I have
card
WhatsApp.
number. I have WhatsApp just because I travel.
I have
That's
WhatsApp because I'm part of the cigar group.
I only have WhatsApp because I had to work with some IT people that I won't get into that conversation. So, Nikki,
I haven't.
so what do you feel like? So again, kind of from a marketing perspective, what do you feel like people? So people, there's obviously a segment of people who don't understand the importance, or even you mentioned somebody who didn't even know that travel agents like you or travel concierge, as you're now being known, exist. How do you feel like they're not being reached? Like, what maybe do you feel like could be done to reach out to those people a little more? Or how do you think they could find you in ways that maybe they don't know about?
That's a good question, and
That's a great
kind of
question, actually.
what I need help with the most because
How
I
do
do feel like
you-
I'm like niched into this.
It
How
is,
do we-
you know, it's funny though. It does seem very niche, but it doesn't need to be, right? It
Yeah.
seems like something that like it could be very out there and very in your face. As much traveling as you do, you could produce so much content that
Yeah.
I mean, you could be overflowing with content
Yeah.
just on a single trip.
So when I go, I have 60,000 photos on my phone, and I have video, with the purpose of doing content.
Yeah.
But then I lack that disconnect of having it and
Mm-hmm.
using it in a correct way.
Sure.
There
So-
is a lack of using that content that I have.
Yeah. So you know, we don't need to go through the whole thing. I did actually send an agenda over to David. He can forward that to you.
Yeah,
And it has
he
some,
did.
some
I did.
Yeah.
tactics and stuff.
did.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this though. So people who do find you, how do you feel like
Yeah.
they find you? How do you feel like they actually learn about your service?
I would say, and I don't know if this is a correct percentage, 75% is
I was going to say
probably
73.
75% is probably previous clients, past clients. Like I just got a thing today. It was like, hey, either past client or somebody that let them know, hey,
Yeah.
we're friends with so and so, and they've
Right.
used it before, and so
So
we're
word
going to
of
do that.
mouth is huge for you.
Word of mouth is huge for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do
and
you
you
do
know,
any? Mhm.
occasionally we'll get like, because we have a website and we have, they can go there and they can fill out a form like, hey, I want to do this, this, and this. I don't have an agent that I'm working with. Someone reach out.
Sure. Do you do any kind of like referral discounts, like for a past client who refers their friends, like maybe that original client could get like some kind of discount or anything like that?
We do occasionally, yeah. Like, say they go on a cruise and someone cruises with them, we might give them a little bit of extra onboard credit.
Uno momento se
Or-
por favor. By the word giving them a discount would insinuate that it costs money to use a travel concierge.
Yeah, explain how so you guys, people don't directly pay you guys, right? Is
No,
that my understanding?
we don't
So when
charge
somebody uses
fees.
your service, they're not paying
You
for your
can
service.
wake me
That's
up
that's
at
got to be a big
midnight and
misunderstanding.
6 a.m. for free.
Yes, it does not cost you. So if you were to go and book a Disney trip on your own,
Yeah.
the cost of using a travel agent is already in that price. We
Yeah.
get
Right.
paid directly from the supplier, and that cost is already built in. We
So
don't
I think,
we
yeah.
don't charge extra fees.
So
So
a lot
you
of
could
people don't understand that, I think.
know. And I've had I don't call her out.
I'm
but
gonna call her straight out. Her effing sister.
my own sister, I asked her, I'm like, she was booking a trip. I'm like, why didn't you ask me? And her response, I love her to death, but her
I
response
don't.
was, I don't want to pay you.
I don't.
Wow,
I lost
that's love.
my ship with that.
And I'm like, one, screw you. Two, it does not
Exactly.
cost you anything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to charge you any fees. You are already paying.
Yeah,
Like
you're already paying it.
we get
You're
paid directly from Disney or directly from the supplier that we use to
Royal
book
Caribbean or
Royal
Virgin
Caribbean. Yes,
or
that
MSC
amount
or
is
any of these
already
other
built
people
into.
there. It's already
You're
built there.
you're not going to pay me any. You're not going to pay me a fee. You're not going to pay me like anything.
Nothing.
You're not going to pay anything different than what
You're not going to increase your price
No.
by using a travel concierge, or for those of you in Rio Linda, a travel agent. You are simply going to get better service.
See,
Yeah.
this is what people need to know. I
Yeah.
feel like
There should be a
my
podcast.
only hindrance my only hindrance for using like a live person over like AI is I feel like AI would be cheaper. But in reality, you're not charging. There's no extra charge for your service
No.
at all.
So-
But with
so-
AI, I'm actually getting a much more inferior product because I don't have that personal touch.
A lot of time, and I have not had this happen to me personally, but I know from just being in different travel agent, Facebook posts or, knowing lots of travel agents, we will lose clients to Costco because Costco is
Costco will give 5% or 20% discount, or
Co-
5%
or
discount
Costco
on
give
gift
like,
cards.
if you book through us, we're going to give you a $500 Costco gift card.
Yep.
See,
That's
it's hard
great.
to beat that though because I
it
didn't even
really
know
is.
Costco had a travel agency. I wouldn't tell people that. But since they have their store attached to their brand, they can do stuff like that. Like,
And with that being said, if there's a problem,
right?
you have to call
Yeah.
Costco.
Are you calling
Yeah.
Costco's
I'll tell you
customer
what, I'll tell
service?
you
They
what,
don't care about you.
Before you buy or before you purchase your Costco sanctioned travel plans, call them.
Yeah.
Call their 1-800 number
And ask them a question.
and then call Nikki
Mm-hmm.
And see who can
and
answer
see
your
who
question.
actually answers their telephone.
I'm gonna
Right.
answer a telephone call. I'm gonna answer like, and as much as it annoys him,
Pisses me off.
I have
nonstop.
the inability to shut it off. If I have a client that texts me, I'm going to answer that. I'm going to
Oh,
answer
yeah.
that. I'm going to answer an email.
Yeah.
I don't officially have like business hours, especially if something comes up during a trip. Like if you're on a trip,
Mm-hmm.
I am available. You call
Yep.
me, I'm going to help you out.
Yes.
Like I
Right.
will respond.
She has screwed up so many date nights. It's not even funny.
But that's the
But
point of
Dan-
concierge, though, right? That's the point of a concierge.
Exactly.
It's like-
Exactly. And Dan McDonald, who's watching right now, Dan said, "I'd rather give a family member some dollars than a stranger."
yeah, send that
And
to your
it's not
sister, Nikki.
that. It's giving a individual person, and again, it's not costing you anything.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't cost you a dime. Your price is your price, regardless whether you use this person or not. Difference is, you now don't have to worry about all of this whole laundry list of things is now going to be handled for you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if something goes wrong, you have a person to call.
And someone
Right.
is going to answer that call. And if I have, as I am so not only do I have my own clients, I am also the executive assistant of our travel agency.
Mhm.
So if one of the travel agents is on a trip, they will call me and be like, "Hey, I have so and so traveling during this time. Can they reach out to you for questions?" Absolutely. So I am the backup of these
Right.
other travel agents. So there's always somebody that is going to help you answer a question or deal with a problem. And you're not going to get that.
Right. So you're not some random person. Somebody in
Nope.
your shoes is not just some random person overseas or somebody who doesn't care. Like, you're actively involved in this process, and
Yeah.
you know all the details. So
And
honestly,
I
this is
I am an empathetic person. So if you have a problem, it is now my problem.
yeah.
And I like it is going to keep me alive until I can help you solve your problem. Sometimes that is a disadvantage to me and my
And-
husband and family. But I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that your trip is okay.
Right. And that's the
I
real big difference. So go ahead, David. Sorry.
I don't know if she does, but I remember when her first private client went on a trip.
Hmm.
Um, it was probably many mental breakdowns ago for her, um, but I remember it because she was glued to that phone.
I
Yeah, I
still
believe it.
to this day, I have been a
Yeah,
travel agent, a full-time travel agent for a year and a half. When a client travels, I am
pins and
pins and
needles.
needles until they get back, and I get an email that is, "Hey, we had a great time. Thank you so much. This was fantastic. Here's a picture of our trip." Like I love to
So
see.
save my wife's stress level and buy from Costco.
No, don't do that. So honestly, this is why a person for at least your personal clients, a personal
Mhm.
brand for your business is so important. The second you start posting all your content all over the place, and hopefully you're going to keep up with the podcasting too, and talking about
I
stuff like this,
I
bringing on
do,
guests.
yes, and I want to, because every time that there's new news or something, it's way easier to talk about it than it is to do like a Facebook post or an email
Right,
blast. Like it's easier to talk to somebody and talk it through and be like, "Hey, this news came out, or these great things are coming to this property
right.
or whatnot." And I do think that is a beneficial thing to do and continue to do.
Right, and it really it's gonna be it's a little slow at first, but once your audience starts picking up
Mhm.
and you really start making traction, it's almost gonna be exhausting. Like how often people reach out to you and look for advice and look up to you to be that subject matter expert. And David and I always talk about being a subject matter expert, and you really are.
I am. Yes,
And
absolutely.
you know you are also, but you need to communicate that out. So
Yes.
whether that's it, and it needs to be on every platform, Instagram. Um, I don't know if you use X or not. It should be on X, Facebook. Um, I'm
See,
not a
that is
huge
the
fan
problem.
of the
That's
TikToks, but they're
that.
big.
The
So
kids on the TikToks, everybody's got the TikToks these
so
days.
my problem is I'm very old school, and social media is not my favorite. I will use Instagram is my favorite, and I
Sure,
still use Instagram.
sure.
Um, I'm trying to like expand with TikTok. I am
Hmm.
not on X, but I know that I need to be.
Yeah.
Um, but another thing that I that I come in, something that causes me trouble is because I do the social media and stuff for the agency.
Hmm.
I feel like that kind of extends my creativity, and then when it comes to like my own stuff, I don't have anything else.
But you
Like I
know
don't have
what?
any.
Honestly, even if it's just like sitting at a restaurant at Disney and taking a cool picture,
Yeah,
that's content that can be shared across 5 or 6 different platforms. And
yeah.
if you look at a social media distribution platform like Hootsuite or something like that, you can get a free account and it can distribute to multiple different platforms at the same time. You can post once. You can schedule out posts for a whole week, and
Okay.
it'll post all of your stuff on every platform all week long. And you
So
know
I
what?
do.
Go ahead.
So
Sorry.
we have like business suite that I use, and I'm able to schedule ahead of time, and it's going to post to our Facebook and our Instagram and our
What do you
TikTok,
use, like
and
Sprout or
it's just it's business suite.
just Business Suite? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm able to do I used to do a week's worth of like content,
Hmm.
but right now there's so much
Right.
there's so much news that I kept having to like redo what I was doing. Like right now with Epic Universe, I swear
Yeah.
every day that comes out, there's more news about Epic
But
Universe.
you know what that means?
Wait
Every single
a
day,
minute,
there's
wait
more
a minute, wait a
content
minute.
put out.
What is Epic Universe?
Epic Universe is the brand new park that is coming to Universal Studios in Orlando. It opens officially in May.
What is Epic Universe? What is epic about it?
So Epic Universe has 5 different like portals. You
Parks.
can go to Isle of Berk, which is from How to
Oh,
Train Your
with the
Dragon.
the How to Train Your Dragon and stuff. Yeah, I want to see that.
Yes, you can meet Toothless.
That's pretty.
Complete
That's cool. See,
That's
if you went there and got a video with Toothless, you could
Oh,
post that for a month and you'd be gold.
that is, I don't care. So I'm going May 12th.
Yeah, get
I
videos
am,
of you interacting with Toothless. That can run your social media for a month. That content alone.
in this particular trip, and I know that we've talked about this before, we're doing Disney World for 2 days as an agency, a Royal Caribbean cruise for 3 days as an agency, and then Epic Universe,
Mm-hmm.
all in one 6-day time span.
Yeah.
So I am going to have so much to share.
So you make sure you take the GoPro with you. You've got a lot of material
Yes.
you're gonna
If-
need to put together.
If you need a travel partner, I fit nicely into suitcases. I'll just squeeze up and just
So
crew right up in there.
this comes back to, I mean, both of us travel quite a bit,
Yes.
right? For work. And we get a lot of people like, "Oh my God, you're so lucky!" This, and "Oh my God, I wish I could do that." Like, I really don't think you understand what this is
Right.
about.
It's
So
true
while,
though. Yeah.
while Disney World, Royal Caribbean Cruise, Epic Universe sounds like a fantastic time, I will be working the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not going to be a super. Yeah, I'm
Don't
gonna
be
have
wrong.
fun.
There's gonna be some downtime.
Yes.
It's a good place to be. It's a good environment to be working, but
Yes. I'm
it's
I'm
work.
going to be working.
yeah.
I'm going to be getting content. I explained to you. I went to Cancun, Mexico for a training trip. It was fantastic. I learned so much. We toured different sites. I did
Mhm.
training classes. It was the most like educational trip I've ever taken.
Mhm.
I spent an hour and a half on the beach in Cancun the entire time that I was there.
Right.
And that's it. Like it was go, go, go. You're gonna tour this resort. You're gonna tour this resort.
I was just in Peru, and driving back from Peru, I'm taking pictures on the way to the airport. I'm like, "Oh, there it is! Click, 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 and go."
Yeah. And so when we're on our Royal Caribbean ship, we are doing a book club at sea, and all of the agents are going to be putting on this book cruise. So we're going to be working like behind the scenes to make this go for the cruise. And so there's so much that is
Yeah.
involved.
I
You're
do have to
wrong.
ask you, what's the
Yeah,
book of choice?
Huh?
What's the book of choice on the cruise?
So this particular author, her name is Sadie Cade. She is a romance author. She is very much
that
on
explains
the
the music. Okay.
Yeah.
So not a lot of dudes on the cruise.
No.
No,
Fair enough.
no, I will not make. So I keep making
It'll be a
comments
full
to
boat
her,
though.
and
I
she keeps.
guarantee it'll be a full boat though.
So we have a good amount of people that are going to be on this book for this book cruise that are
I
coming.
believe it.
And then not only that,
Yeah.
we have 4 book cruises lined up ready to go with people
All right.
signed up, with different authors. Different
That's
authors,
cool.
Oh
different
yeah.
If you ever have like a Tolkien themed cruise, let me know. I'm in.
I'm
Or like
so in.
Right. Or honestly, like a Sir Arthur Conan Doyle themed cruise. I'm in. I'm
Oh.
in.
Yeah.
I
I'm
like
in.
the executive edition, exclusive edition of that. So I like special edition.
That sounds. Those sound cool though. Those sound like really good trips. So those sound
Yeah.
like things that like it's probably a really niche audience who'd be into those. So that
So
could be a
this
specific segment you could speak to.
Yes, this particular cruise is a specific author. We're reaching out to kind of more mainstream authors and expanding, and I do think that we will continue to grow our audience and authors, and
Wes is a huge fan of Dan Brown and his work.
I do.
I know.
I love coloring books and paint by numbers. So I read a lot of Dan Brown.
So
God, I love Dan Brown. He's hilarious.
okay,
He is like, we are 180 on this
I
thing.
knew that there was more to that. I will say that when Penny was a baby, like baby, and I would have
Okay.
to wake up in the middle of the night for feedings and stuff, I would read. I only had like
Eric
Kindle.
Carlisle.
No. I would only have like Kindle or whatever reading platform that he had, so I had only his
No.
books.
Oh no,
Only
you
his
had David's books?
I only had his books readily available that I could like play with on my phone at 2 o'clock in the morning while I'm feeding a baby.
I'm
It
sorry. I apologize for David on this
was
one.
a lot of Dan Brown books, and I didn't hate them.
So I had Dan Brown. That would have been like Gordon Dixon, which is like the Dragon and the George. Those series
I
is really
read
good.
no, those are I read all of the Dan Brown books that he had, and I did
So
not hate them.
it was so the ones I think that you would have read at that point would have been Deception Point and Digital Fortress, which
Look,
were like
I
the
don't.
original.
Yes.
I'll admit, I don't hate Dan Brown. Dan Brown's books are basically like McDonald's and popcorn. They're easy to sit down and consume. It
And
doesn't necessarily mean they're good.
that was kind of
Uh,
my thought
so
process.
the problem is so like he's a great storyteller. He weaves a great tale.
Yeah.
He's not a good writer. I think there's a difference. But that's my nerdy take on it. But we're not here to discuss literature.
Hello.
So
Wait, that's literature.
so Nikki, as
We're gonna
far
start.
as I snap when I read something good in a book I like.
Wait, here we go.
So Nikki, whenever the travel agency business, so I'm sure you guys have your ebbs and flows in business. Whenever
Oh yeah.
Whenever there's like a downtime, like do you guys get like lead magnets that like, hey, sign up for this and you'll get this special ticket, or hey, sign up early to get this special deal here. Like, what do you do to drum up business when the time comes? And what are your like highs and lows versus like what seasons?
So if you would have asked me this 2 years ago, I would have a completely different answer than what I do now. And I've only worked with the agency for, like I said, full time, like a year and a half. I've been my own travel agent for 2 years. We, as a travel agency, has not had a downtime. Every month just keeps getting busier. And
It's a
2
good
years
problem to
ago,
have.
I know that would not have been the case. Like January, I worked so much in January, it wasn't even funny. I thought I was going to lose my mind, only to find out that it was the most profitable month that we've ever had as an agency.
Nice.
And so, like, usually there's some downtime. There's certain months that it's not as busy, and we don't necessarily have that right now. And I as someone that has only been in it since it's been on the upswing, I don't necessarily know the answer to that question. I do know as some with my own clients, I don't put enough work into getting my own clients just because I'm working so much back end on the agency.
Hmm.
But
We're about to change that.
I know I do
Yeah,
want to change
yeah,
that. And
100%.
just, I mean, alone, just this week alone, and it is only Thursday, I have had 3 past clients reach out like, "Hey, thanks so much for your help. I want to book another trip."
That's awesome. That's great.
And so, and that I love. Um, but with it being downtime, it's not necessarily something that we're struggling with as an agency. It's something that I'm struggling with as a personal agent. But
Right.
again, I don't put necessarily all the time into finding new clients as maybe that I should.
Week.
Sure. So I actually have two separate questions that
Sure.
David, you and I need to stay out of politics on this completely. 2 separate questions. One, has the economy, the economy's been ebbing and flowing a lot over the last couple of weeks. Has that affected the travel agency business? And question 2, not related to that, but a separate question. I'm just trying to get it in before I lose control. Has the Real ID flight requirements affected anything that you're doing? You need the different ID to fly.
No,
the different.
and no.
Okay.
Yeah,
No and no. No
but
and
I
both.
would say
Interesting.
no and no.
No.
No and no.
I could have answered those.
Yeah.
Well, I
with the
mean,
Real ID,
yeah.
with the Real ID, I do feel like a lot of just, again, we're not just a Disney travel agency. We are a full service travel agency. So we do a lot of all inclusives in the Caribbean or overseas. So I do feel like a lot of clients already have a passport.
Mm-hmm. But you need the real
Yeah.
ID in addition to a passport, though. You can't have a
No,
normal driver's
no.
license. No, I thought that was the
As long
case.
as you have a
Where's your
no,
passport?
as long as
I
you
thought
have a
you needed
passport.
both.
Yep.
Well,
If
see,
you
that's
were
important
flying,
information. I didn't know that.
and so we
This is
have
stuff you
been
can
showing
talk about.
that. Yeah, we have been sharing that for the past couple months. Like,
Hmm.
hey, this is what you need.
I was pissed. I was actually pissed because in Ohio, I
Right.
had my real ID.
Yeah.
But when you move,
When I moved to New York, they're like, "We're not giving it to you." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, I've already got it.
But see,
so
Nikki,
me,
You take it
yeah.
away." But I've got my passport now, so I'm like, "F you!
it doesn't
I'm not
matter.
going to pay for another freaking ID until
Well,
mine
right.
expires." No
Yeah.
pouncing.
So me and Noah have real IDs here in New York.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
So they have it. They did not have it in Ohio,
no,
but I had mine. Like the minute it became available, I was like, "All right,
Right.
great, I'm
But see,
due."
I assumed to travel
Done.
anywhere at all for any reason, you still needed the real ID in addition to a passport if you were going
if
out of the
you have
country.
a passport trumps all.
Passport trumps
But
all. Yeah.
see, Nikki, this is content that you can actually do on like a blog or like
Okay.
video content on different social platforms. Like you could do a short 5-minute video just on Real ID and do you need it? Do you not need it? That sort of thing. So I
Okay.
mean, there's just on little things like that so in marketing rather in marketing there is an idea of something called the marketer's blind spot, right? Where people who are in marketing and advertising they talk about specific things and don't talk about other things because it's things that they feel are important. But since they're experts in their field, they sort of have a
Mhm.
blind spot for like what the average person knows and
Oh,
doesn't
that makes
know,
sense completely. Yeah.
right? So even little things like that that seem like common sense to you, I didn't know that. I mean, you could do a
Yeah.
whole series of content just on something very small like Real ID. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that could be on every single social platform, by the way, including LinkedIn. Don't underestimate the power of LinkedIn. I can never tell people that enough.
So I will say, hold on.
Don't get a LinkedIn.
Yes,
So
get
hold
a
on.
LinkedIn and put all of your content on LinkedIn because people
So
on LinkedIn have
we
money.
have we have a couple
All right, get LinkedIn.
like automatic things that get sent out for different suppliers or whatnot, and we have a LinkedIn that is connected to that. I don't personally post anything to our LinkedIn, but this service will post. Like today, there was I forget, and I pick and choose what gets posted. I don't post every day to it. I usually try to do something more personable, um, as opposed to just some like canned
Yeah, the personal
thing.
stuff is great. Yeah.
Yeah, but some of the, if I'm busy, if I don't have an idea of something, or I really like this particular thing, it's going to go to every platform. It is going to go to our Facebook, our Instagram, our TikTok, and our LinkedIn
Hmm.
automatically.
Yeah, that's awesome.
While I don't use it personally as the agency, we do have some presence there.
Cool. That's great.
What were we going to say?
I was excited because one of the ladies that is in kind of our chain of command, not in my chain of command. I'm hoping to actually get to her chain of command now. She made a comment of not using our businessisms speak when dealing with people because they don't
Oh, I
understand.
like that.
It's a rough thing to kind of overcome. And I think that the topic we were just talking about kind of flows into that of while it's something that you and I get because we travel a lot,
Yeah.
the normal person out there may not know. So while we look at it as it's just work a day to us, it would be very educational for them.
Mhm.
So to have somebody with a podcast that went over these things, I think would bring a ton of value. And
Mhm.
I don't know if anybody else has watched because I mean I know she has watched travel agents podcasts. You know what they are? They're room reviews, boat reviews, X, Y,
Right.
Z. You know what? You know what? That's played out.
Right. And
You know
but
what I
here's the thing:
haven't
you can
seen?
do that, but also do like what David's about to explain. Yeah,
What David's about to explain now. Uh,
but don't forget
it
that. But do
is
both.
yeah. It's those things are good. Those are the things that you think about easily, but what you don't think about is, again, my big thing is timing. People don't think about the timing of when to book, when to do this, when to do that. They don't
Hmm.
understand what is involved. They don't understand when the real ID is needed. They don't understand. And, we were talking about this earlier. If you're on Royal Caribbean and you're doing a closed loop, that means that you are starting in the US. You might bounce through a couple other Caribbean
So
islands or
a
whatnot and come
closed
back.
a closed loop means you start and stop at the same port,
Yes.
like in the United
Yeah,
States.
I
Yes.
didn't even know that.
So,
Yeah.
so here,
Yeah.
you don't actually need a passport for that.
See, I didn't even know that. I would
Exactly.
assume I did.
didn't.
So
So
that
yes,
is great
you need a
content. That
passport
would
for
be
that.
really good content.
But if you do the same exact thing with Virgin,
Hmm.
you need a passport.
Because you're flying, right?
Their rules are
No,
not because you're
different.
flying.
Virgin
It's
has
different
a
different
Virgin
rules,
Cruise.
different
line.
companies,
Yeah.
See,
different cruise
this
lines.
is really good information that I don't think most people know. I definitely didn't know that.
Like-
We would have known it. We would have known it. But because we're involved into it and getting into it and learning more about it,
Yeah.
let me phrase that. She's getting into it and learning more about it. Uh, you know, we know these things now. Both of us have our passports. We don't worry about it. But before it would have been an impact.
Right.
So when somebody goes, "Hey, I want to take a Virgin cruise," I did Royal Caribbean last year. You say, "Hey, you do know that," or it's like, "Hey, just to be aware," not that you do know because that's kind of condescending,
Mhm.
but just to be aware, Virgin requires you to have a passport where Royal Caribbean did not.
Right. And you know what? Even if it's an email or any kind of communication, I just like to use the hey FYI because it's not condescending, but at the same time, hey, you may know this,
Yeah.
you may not know it. It's just good information to
Education.
have.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So here's a really good analogy. I'm glad I have this pipe handy. I always have a pipe handy. So I have another YouTube channel that deals with pipes that I haven't made videos on for a very long time, even though it's a really successful channel. But I did some pretty heady stuff on there, kind of high end some of it. But at the same time, some of the most important information, some of the highest rated videos that you can have in that entire genre are something as simple as how to put tobacco into a pipe properly.
Oh man,
Now, for somebody who smokes a
I
pipe,
have no
it's
clue.
like it's
I
for
need
somebody
I need
for
to
somebody
watch
who
it.
exactly for somebody who you know smokes a pipe. It's second nature. You literally don't even think about it. It's muscle memory. But for somebody who's just getting into the hobby, like it's a really highly rated video. I wouldn't think twice about it. But at the same time, that video that explains something that simple is some of the highest rated content on an entire channel dedicated to that. So it cannot be
And that's
accentuated
also
enough
good.
how stuff like that, how important stuff like that is.
How things that you would necessarily think are
Right.
second
Now
nature,
it's
not necessarily that for someone else.
that's it. So it's good. You want to have good range. So it's great to have dessert, but you want to have the meat and potatoes too. You know what I mean?
You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
what? I want to meat and potatoes.
Did somebody say dessert? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't want the dessert. I can pass, but the meat and potatoes I want.
Mm.
Actually, you can keep potatoes. You can mean to me,
You would.
man. So the only thing I've ever really spoke to this is think I had one bowl. I think is what they call it of a Father Dempsey,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but everything else has been the Lane one.
Does that pipe smell delicious right now?
It smells phenomenal. Smell that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That smells
I know.
delicious.
I've mentioned several
Absolutely.
times I want to smell like that all the time. In fact, when I die, I want my kids remembering me as smelling like that.
Oh yes. I mean that's. So I sent the Lane 1Q. I sent a sample of Lane 1Q out to somebody because I wanted candles made to smell like Lane 1Q.
Mm-hmm.
And we got close. We weren't completely there, but we got close.
Yeah,
But man, I mean that's just what all I smell. All I smell is Lane 1Q right now.
it's
Oh,
delicious. I know. I'm telling you.
so good.
So Nikki, if you had to make like a short list of wish list items to bring into your business to make it more successful, what would be like the number one on that list? What would be like the one thing that you really want to bring to make your business just really explode? What do you think that is right now? Are you overwhelmed? Do you feel like you're not getting enough business? Do you feel like there's more that you could do to bring in a certain type of business? What do you think it is?
I do feel like there is more that I could do. Did you drop your pipe? There is more that I could do to bring in business. And I use the excuse, and I know
I'll
that
need
it's
a
an
holder.
excuse that because I do a lot of it for the agency, I don't necessarily do the same thing for my own business.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like I could offer my services or put myself out there more than I do right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh, I could be busier. I could have, yes.
Private person, your direct
Yeah,
clients,
right.
not just
Oh yeah.
agency clients.
Yeah.
So, offline, I sent you guys an agenda that we could have covered tonight if we had nothing else. I mean, we've had more than enough to talk about. Honestly, I would look at that over, and if you have any questions, let us know. Don't listen
Okay.
to David
Yeah.
because you're married to him, but reach out to me, and I can definitely help answer any questions. I'd probably say the same thing that David would, but you can listen to me more because you're not married to me.
Yeah.
I can,
Whereas, like, a kid's not going to listen to a parent.
that's
Yeah.
it. Look, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
Wives do not listen to their husbands. I mean, there was something earlier today that happened. I'm like, isn't it nice to have a husband that just is like, oh, it's a Q2 results,
Yeah.
like Q2 process, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're only 2.5 weeks into
He
Q2.
always has to solve a problem that's not necessarily a problem. Like,
Yeah.
I
See,
don't
that
need
literally
you
sounds
to
exactly like
solve
my
this
wife.
problem. I need you to just listen
Nah.
for a second.
I've had that exact same conversation.
I have no problem for you to solve. I need to start the conversations like that. Okay, I want to talk to you. I do not have a problem that needs to be solved. And go.
I'm gonna be Bobby. I'm gonna be Ricky Bobby going there going, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Exactly. You know what, David? I might actually use that at some point when I'm talking to my wife. I might use that same line. I've had that exact same conversation. And
Right, that
she's actually
expression
told me, I'm
ever
not looking, you
can-
don't need to solve a problem. I'm like,
No.
but that's what I do.
No, I don't
yes,
need you to solve
we're
a
problem solvers. Okay,
No.
you all are problem creators. We're problem solvers. I mean, that's just how it works.
I
Well, here's
don't
my
need-
quick analogy. That's why duct tape was invented. It was invented
Not
by a man to solve a problem.
Yeah.
But
Does
at the
it
same
move?
time, I totally understand
duct
where you're coming
tape
from,
on it.
Nikki. And if you look over the agenda and you have any questions, let me know. I promise I won't be preachy, but honestly, it's if you made a personal brand and you posted on every social platform you can, even if you go through like a Hootsuite or a Sprout Social or something like that to distribute it for you. I mean,
Nuts. Does that
stuff
just
like
sound
that.
like
It might take a while. It might take up to a year to get a good audience, but
Yeah,
once stuff starts to grow, you're going to reach an inflection point. Like critical mass will be reached to where people will just come into you and ask you questions. And the more people who view you as a subject matter expert, the more of a subject matter expert universally you will automatically become. You know what I mean?
yes?
And I do know that I bring a lot more to the table than
your knowledge is you have
It's
so
that
much
then-
knowledge to share.
let
She's
anyone
almost
know.
as knowledgeable as I am on this stuff, and that's impressive.
Well, no,
I just
but
know that there's a lot more that I can do that I am not.
right, and the idea that people one don't have to pay you extra. I don't think most people know that. I certainly didn't know that before I talked to you. Two, the idea that you get the personal touch of a concierge versus like an AI platform that's going to find the lowest rates, even if you're not getting everything that you want. It's a different experience completely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So there's so much, even just the little things, little tiny things like just talking for a couple of minutes about Real ID that people don't know. I didn't know that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So little things, you can make so much content that is just inherent to you that most people, it's out of their world. Most people are thinking about spreadsheets that they need to get to their director by 4 a.m. tomorrow or something. You know what I mean?
EOD.
EOD. Yeah. It's
Always. So yeah, I mean, you don't have to go. I mean, we've been on for about 2 hours and 10 minutes, and the vast majority of people, that's too long.
Yeah.
the vast majority of people. But for
Yeah.
us and what we do and the way we present it, it feels like we've been on for about a half hour now.
So with
Half
that
hour,
being said,
45 minutes.
it has not felt like we have been sitting here for
No,
2
it's
hours.
crazy.
It does not.
So
But
yeah, as we get ready to wrap this up, are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
So I went
Before-
ahead and done it. Okay.
before we
So-
get there, David. Before we get there,
Yep.
David.
Go ahead.
If you have any questions, Nikki, about what specific genres you could possibly reach out to, um, you know, let me know, and we can have a whole conversation offline about it.
Yeah.
But I'm just my brain is overflowing with little ideas about, you can reach out to this audience here and this audience here, and the more you mentioned that your biggest lead magnet or something along those lines, terrible phrase at this point, to bring in new customers is word of mouth. There's a lot of opportunity there that we can talk about. But man, yeah, just the simple fact that you're not posting is really holding you back. You need to post as much as possible on as many platforms as possible, and that's really what it
I'm
boils
not.
down to.
I the agency, and then all creativity has left the building, and my own.
Yeah, you need some short what do you call it? Short version video?
So what I need to
Short
do
form
is
video.
like I post.
Short form. That
Yeah,
form is
and
the word I was looking
I
for.
know video is huge, and so that's something that I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
short form video is going to be imperative.
Yeah.
Well, you know
and
what? It's
when I travel in a few weeks,
Mhm.
I do plan to do like a couple lives as well from the different
yeah.
locations. Yeah.
So lives are great. Good thing about lives is they also record as full videos. You can chop those up into smaller bite-sized pieces. Even if it's something like a short, you know, video of zooming into a plate of food, or hey, look over there, look at that thing. It takes
Mhm.
10 seconds, but at the same time, it's more engaging than a photo post.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
little things. But I'm telling you, if you meet Toothless at Universal, you could live off of that for a month, easy.
Yeah, so I get advertised every day on Facebook for a video that will automatically break it down into. It'll take your pillar content and break it down into the smaller short form videos as well. So I'll send you the link over. Right now they break it down into. It'll take your pillar content and break it down into the smaller short form. Right now they have a free trial.
Oh, you froze. Oh no, David froze. David, if you guys can hear me or not.
Is they start taking away
There you are.
the usability of it.
There you are. By the way,
So
Dan
are we
Cundall
ready?
says TikTok business snapshot posts. That's another one. So I don't know if you're on the TikToks, but the TikToks are still technically a thing. And I hate to admit it, but they still drive a lot of business. But
I know.
David, so you're trying to wind up here. So let's.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to wind it up. But it's also I don't want to miss something important because the TikTok, she is going to resonate very well with the TikTok audience.
TikTok is really big for driving business. I have a lot of reasons why I don't necessarily care for the platform, but as far as driving business, man, it's a gold mine. It just is.
Yeah.
Dan also says even IG is great for promoting. Yeah, the Instagram influencer, I mean, goes without saying. Nikki, you.
So
Yeah.
IG is my favorite, but again, along the lines, like
Mhm.
I posted the other day on Instagram, and the day so I posted
Mhm.
4 days ago, and before that it had been February 23rd.
Yeah, that's
Right.
weak.
Where I know that's terrible, and I
Yeah, that's
used to
weak.
post like every day.
Yeah,
and
you gotta get your shit together on that.
yeah,
It's got to be a habit. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is I would say you need to dedicate 15 to 20 minutes every single day of just planning your social, and then once a week you need to dedicate an hour to executing your social. And you can go through a scheduling process or whatever, but it doesn't need to take all day. And here's actually one thing that puts a lot of people off is they're like, oh, I don't want to have to be replying to stuff all day, and I don't want to have to be checking it all day. You know what? Professional influencers, they don't do that. They'll check their
Mhm.
messages once a day for maybe
Yeah.
an hour, and they'll post stuff once a day, if not once a week. And that's what they do. And the rest of the time, they're just creating content They post it once a week during that dedicated time. So they're not
Yeah.
on their phone all the time, just ignoring everything happening around them. They're taking part in everything that's happening around them, but at the same time, they're planning out what they're taking photos of. They're really putting in the creativity and the mind power into, oh, this shot's going to be good. Oh, this content's going to be good. But they're not actually actively posting or replying until those dedicated times. So
Mhm.
it's a strategy, really, when it comes down to it. But it also needs to be
Yeah.
a habit to be able to understand, oh, that shot would be great for Instagram, or oh, this thing is happening over here. I got to talk about this thing.
So I have so many pictures and videos specifically that I have taken for social media
Mm-hmm.
and have not done anything.
So I think I need to set her up with a. I
And
think
you
I
can
need to
still
set
use those
a
too, by the
with a
way. Now that you
OneDrive.
have
Oh
those.
yeah, I still can. Yes,
Yeah.
they're just
I need to set you up with a
there.
OneDrive to free up space first of all. Then from there, you need to start utilizing those, and again, that 15 to 20 minutes a day, and that goes under time management. And
Yes.
that time management is something that you use across the board, whether
Mhm.
you are an entry level employee or whether you're a mid level manager, a supervisor. It doesn't matter where you are. Proper time management is going to serve you well across the board.
Yes. But with that being said, with my own
Mhm.
personal stuff and everything that comes into the agency, I feel like everything that I have to do as the assistant to the agency
Yeah.
kind of takes over, and I don't necessarily.
Well, I mean,
Well,
and that's where you
with
need
with
to.
time
That's where you
management,
need to have
yes. But
prioritize time
sometimes
management.
if something comes in, that's going to
Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's gonna override something that I
here's
already
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's Nikki.
Nikki,
You
what you don't
understand?
understand.
Understand
By the
this?
way, this is an in joke. It's not towards you. It's
Yeah,
I promise.
it's a whole
I
other
figured as
separate
much
joke.
because you both said
So
the same thing.
yeah, so when it comes in, even though it coming in on this channel, it doesn't necessarily override what you're doing. It needs to go into its bucket, and it needs to be operated out of its bucket when it's time to operate that bucket.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tough to break that habit of this jumps priority over
Mhm.
everything when
Yeah.
in fact it simply does not.
See, that's where I
It's
struggle.
tough. It
Yeah.
is I
It is tough.
absolutely admit that
get it.
it's tough, but it goes with good, proper, and solid time management.
And you know what? And it is tough. And it you know what? I can see it from both sides. It's hard to listen to the "I told you so" kind of conversations that you have with some people, versus the idea that creativity is it's a limited resource. And when
Mhm.
you use all of your creativity and brain power towards this one thing, it's
Yeah.
really hard to have a lot left over for yourself afterwards. I can relate to
So
that
when I have
firsthand, Nikki.
to
I
do,
totally
like,
agree.
I post every single day for
Sure.
the agency,
I
and
get it.
sometimes I try to do something different for Facebook and then something different for Instagram. So when it comes time for my own, I'm like, "Nah,
And
I'm out of
creativity
ideas."
is a limited resource. It just needs to be
Yeah.
a habit sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part to get into, is building that habit. So, but
Yeah.
you know, as we're wrapping up though, Dan actually brought up an interesting question that we maybe we can
He's
wrap
got
up
a lot
on.
of good stuff over there right now.
Yeah.
Dan is full of a lot of things. One of them is good comments. Uh, he asked, "Do you have a business account and not your own personal account?" So on his note, maybe do you have any accounts you'd like to plug, like your personal account or your business account? Where can people find you?
So my Facebook account is Nicole at wishfulwanderingstravel.com.
Can you guys put that in the comments, David? Can you put that in the comments?
Yeah.
David will put it in the comments. Nikki, let him do the work. It's his show. Wishful
So
wondering,
I
wishfulwondering.com.
do use my personal I have a business account for Facebook. I did have 2 different accounts for Instagram, and I just found myself posting the same
Was it
thing.
Nicole?
It is Nicole with Wishful Wanderings.
Wishful
All right, I'm gonna correct
wondering
that.
or wishful wandering?
Wishful Wanderings. There's
Wandering.
an
Got it.
and then my
I just tagged you on the thing.
and then my Instagram is, and I feel like I use this a little bit more,
Mhm.
Wandering with Nick.
Wandering with Nikki.
Wandering, 2 underscores.
Wandering
Just that.
underscore with underscore Nikki.
I don't know if it'll come up on the Facebook.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Maybe live on the internet is not the place to tell your wife to fuck off.
Oh no, I tell her that all the time.
Maybe live on the
Literally
internet is
all
not
the
the
time.
place to tell the
But
internet that
to
you
be
tell your
fair,
wife to
she
fuck
said
off all the time.
she's equally liberated to say the same to me.
Fair enough. And I believe that she probably does, and you probably have it
Oh
coming.
yes. I'll
yeah.
always have it coming.
All right, so
100%.
I don't see that second comment. I see Nicole with wishfulwanderings.com, and the second one,
That's
oh,
what I
there it
mean.
is.
We're on Facebook. That's probably the easiest one to
Yeah.
get through
All right,
Facebook.
good to know.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So I will find you on both, and oh, here Dan is talking about Hootsuite. Dan says if Hootsuite still exists, you can link all your platforms. Yeah, and Dan, we've talked about Hootsuite and Sprout Social, that sort of thing, and that's an easy way to schedule out your posts. I like things like that. It's just an easy way to sort of build that habit and have a good place to
Yeah.
track all your metrics. So,
Okay.
but Nikki, honestly, check out
Are we ready?
the
So
show
you're
notes.
Killing me
We've
here.
been going for over
Killing
2
me.
hours. I think we gotta give people a
All right.
rest.
All right. Are you ready? Are you ready? Ready?
I don't
He
know.
was chasing snakes by the time he could walk. Born to a nature-loving family. His mother was a wildlife rehabilitator. By 6, he was feeding crocodiles. By 9, he was handling venomous snakes.
I know who this is.
But he wasn't reckless. He was respectful and curious and quietly fearless. He didn't see dangers where others saw teeth and claws. He saw misunderstood beauty. He believed the most feared creatures were the most in need of love. He lived simply, but thought big. Instead of using his knowledge for fame and fortune, he helped his parents build a modest reptile park, and he began filming, not for show, but for his honeymoon.
He created lots of content. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, he did. Yes, he became a global TV sensation, starting as a wedding gift, just a man, his wife, a camera, chasing crocodiles in the Australian outback. Soon the world was hooked. Not a special effect, polished script, or celebrity guest, but on raw, boundless enthusiasm. His shouts of "Crikey!" became a catchphrase, but behind his boyish energy was a mission protected to protect creatures of the world that were feared the most. He didn't just entertain, he educated. He didn't just teach, he inspired. He helped rescue thousands of animals, quietly donated to conservation, bought land to preserve habitats, advocated for those without a voice, not just animals, but children, indigenous communities, and endangered ecosystems. And yet for all his brushes with death, all the crocodiles, cobras, Komodo dragons, it wasn't one of those that finally stopped him. It was a stingray, a freak accident, sudden, silent, and heartbroken. But his work didn't stop because he had already lit a fire in the hearts of millions. His legacy lives on in wildlife parks, in documentaries, in, in conservation efforts, and most of all, in his children.
Is really hot sun. Sorry.
I actually have my
Sure.
current wife has a niece in Australia right now, studying zoology ish realm. So she kind of knows those people. So anyway, different conversation.
So, in all his children, you know him as Steve Irwin. My wife apparently knows him as
So
The
his
dad of the
son.
hot son.
Yeah.
So the son made like a video, and like all of the people are like, "Wait a minute, where didn't he come from?" Because
So you fanning yourself over there?
Hot damn.
Are you all
It
right?
turns out his
Are you
son
okay?
is actually Chris Hemsworth.
So the running joke is that he's good with cougars.
So are you a self-proclaimed cougar now?
Ooh.
If
Yes.
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 All right.
I mean,
All right.
Crikey.
All right. Well, I'm back on the market, ladies.
I am.
Crikey.
I unintentionally has watched the video more than once.
More than once. All
More
right.
than once.
Double clicking the mouse over there. I get it. Anyway, you know him
crocodile.
as
Gonna hunt that
Steve.
salty.
You know him as Steve Irwin. And Wes, take it away from there.
Crikey. And now you
That's-
know
there
the
we go.
rest of the story. I can't do a Paul Harvey in an Australian accent, but that was close. Nikki, I didn't realize that about you, but now we're learning a lot more about you.
She's
You
literally
have
picking
a
herself over here. Look at it.
a
Look at
Steve
her.
only
Irwin
She's like full
son
tilt.
fetish. I didn't know. I need to learn
It
his
has
name.
only been within the past couple of days, and I don't even know his name.
Oh yeah,
What is his
She doesn't
name?
know his name. She just wants him to pull his pro hair.
What is his name?
So apparently,
So
the
I
zoo
know
they
the-
own it's a privately owned zoo that's owned by their family. So I think his wife is the current proprietor, but the son is like leading the place essentially. But my current wife, her niece is studying some sort of zoology or something along those biology or something in Australia right now. She's actually there right now, and she's been to that zoo a few times. So I'll see if we can hook up a conversation. We'll see what we can do.
Okay. So it
No, Nikki's like, okay.
no, it literally like I
That was a
looked
very
it
quick
up.
okay.
Robert Irwin is all grown up and bearing almost all for shocking underwear ads. So
Dave,
Terry Irwin concerns over Robert's steamy underwear photo shoot. Robert Irwin breaks his
Well-
silence on rumors of steamy Bond's underwear photo shoot,
we
etc.
can-
Like it
so,
is. That's I literally looked him up, and those are the first things.
Nikki, we can make this work though.
Uh-huh.
So the zoo is a destination. So the is it the Sydney Zoo that he runs? His mom runs. Maybe it's a destination location. Maybe we can work out a travel agent an interview with
This is
the
okay.
with
And she's
was
holding
it
my
Robert
wedding.
Irwin?
He's 21. Jesus Christ.
So you're so either here's the thing, Nikki.
Sure.
Either he will be robbing the cradle or you'll be
Sure.
robbing the grave. Think about
Oh
it
no,
that way.
Jesus.
she's over here just drooling. You gotta see it here. Let me wipe that off for you. Let me get that.
Stop.
Nikki, you're blushing. You need more
So
tequila.
he has a whole.
Oh, you are. We can see it on the
So
camera.
he has a whole underwear ad, but in that ad, he is posing with like venomous snakes and spiders and making it very.
That's not a snake,
open.
Nikki. That's not a python. His anaconda don't want none.
Unless you got buns, hon. You're sleeping in the guest
You don't
room.
need to
tonight.
show us. We believe you, Nikki. She really wants us to see this.
Giant.
Yeah. She's really backtracking at this point. Yeah, you're sleeping in the guest room tonight.
Hey, you're the one who took your ring off, David.
Hey, I just want the ladies to know I'm available.
I was just letting you know that it is a thing.
Oh, it's just a thing.
Oh, it's a thing.
You were like,
No, and then I looked it up. I didn't know his name. I had to literally look up
you
Steve
didn't need it.
Irwin's son's name.
you don't even need to know his name. I get it.
I mean, I don't
Hey,
need
so
to.
Nikki, we'll see what we can do. We'll try and make an introduction. We'll see what we can do.
Okay.
I will not.
Okay.
It's a very quick okay. All right, fair enough.
The fact that I
Oh
now
no,
know that
she's
he's,
all in. I'm
that
out.
he's 21, that disturbs me a little bit more. I thought he was older
That's
than
where
that.
the fucking cougar comes in.
I know, but I didn't know 21.
Cougar.
It's legal. It's legal.
It's only 20 and a half.
Internationally, it's legal, Nikki.
I'm just saying that it.
I'm just
it
saying
made
she's
it
old
weird.
cougar.
It made it weird when I realized his age. Like
Cougar.
23 would have been okay. 21.
So
he's
two
only
more.
six,
So 2 more years makes the difference. Is that what happened? It's
No,
at this
she's
current,
just trying to make excuses.
at this current moment, he's only 6 months older than our son, and that makes a difference. Like that
You
was
know,
a
guys,
determining for me.
older men marry women that are younger than their current children all the time. It's a very common practice.
But women do not, and I find that disturbing. And
I
so
think,
the age
Nikki,
range
Nikki,
kind of
You
are you
just
being
lied 'em.
sexist? You're sexist, Nikki. That's what it comes down to.
I mean, ageist.
Fair enough.
We're still married, right?
You don't look at younger women. Don't give me that shit.
Oh my God, no. No.
Let's end the conversation right now. Hey, let's go ahead and cut this off. Let's
Eventually, they open their mouth and talk.
Oh, that's the
And
worst.
we have said
Nikki,
that several times on
Nikki,
here.
oh my gosh. Being a cougar is one thing. The second you hear a younger person actually speak, you're like, please don't ever talk to me again.
Wow.
Don't do that.
No.
With
Wow.
that being said, when I went to Ohio State, I was a decade older than everybody else. I was a non-traditional student. I was literally a decade older than everyone else. I had already had Noah. I was pregnant with Penny. I was in a completely different state of mind. And I would hear people talking behind me and I'd be like, what the actual fuck? Like
What are you talking about?
these are the people that we're educating. These are the people that are going out into the real world. Like,
no, they're not.
oh,
They took government jobs and
my
now they're employed.
God.
So that's good for them.
Right.
Just 10 years from 10 years younger than me. So I was 28 and they were 18. And I'm like, I can't even listen to you talk right now.
When you
Like,
hear the
you can't
slang and like just random references, you're like, what are you talking about right now?
Yes, it was so bad. And that was 12 years ago or 10. I graduated 10 years ago. So
I can tell some stories from before I was married. I can tell some stories and it's like I'm not proud of anything happening right now. Yeah, it's bad.
All right. Well,
so let's go ahead and end the show. It's getting weird now.
2.5 hours. 2.5 hours in.
We know that Nikki has a thing for Steve Irwin's kid, and we know that we all need to do more social media.
We all need more social media because that's what's made the world better.
For our businesses, rather. I'll put it that way.
Oh, okay.
All right, so
okay.
So in the meantime, Nikki, I really hope you start doing a podcast weekly, once a week, even if it's like 10 minutes, just doing a live or doing a pre-recorded podcast you post later. Once a week, I'm telling you, it can be gold. It's going to seem like you're spinning your wheels for no reason at first, but after a period of time, when you start getting an audience, it's really going to pay off.
Yeah.
So, but in the meantime, I've been West.
Idea of not doing it live and that I can.
So the vast majority of people, just out there, the vast majority of people don't do what we do.
Okay. So I do like doing it and then
most people do not do live. They do edits and they do recording and they cut and they do all this stuff. Wes and I are like, screw it. We don't have time for that shit live.
Let's
go.
Oh man, we could do a whole show just on live versus pre-recorded.
Oh, no,
I think there's benefits to both. I think there's benefits to both. I think both are very important. I cannot communicate highly enough. Do not overproduce your content. When you look at other people's content they put on Facebook or YouTube, and it's like really pretty and it's perfectly framed and the lighting is perfect, you can spend the rest of your life trying to get that perfect shot and you'll never get it because you built that so much up in your head, right?
Yeah.
Just get it done and get it out there, and that is 99% of the game every time. If the content is good, it's going to perform well. The only one thing you got to worry about is the audio, right? The video can look like shit. If the audio sounds bad, nobody's going to pay attention. If the video looks like shit but the audio is great, people will still tune in. I promise you every time.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only time we ever are worried and really concerned is when we have audio issues.
Okay.
We've had a lot of audio issues. Anyway, so let's go and wrap it up. Nikki, check out the show notes I sent you. Let me know if you have any questions. I've been Wes. This guy's been David. That was Nikki. And go find her on social at wandering_with_Nikki on Instagram.
Australians.com.
Or wishfulwanderings.com. Wishful Wanderings. Nikki, thank you so much for joining us. We will talk to you guys later.
Glee infatuated with the in-between, the ups and downs, the curves and the rounds. I bring it to your city or your hometown. I go back in time when the feeling was fine, when funkin' was legal and it wasn't a crime. Party people lined up and down the way, a bigger celebration than your birthday. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt cool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt cool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. And I have seen the world pristine, funk you up in the bushes, funk you down in the trees. Now look around, all the frowns, the yellow, the white, the red and the brown. Now keep in mind, it never costs a dime, 'cause funkin' is free, I remember the time. Now look today, the streets are gray, time to take it back to yesterday. Funkin' in the neighborhood, I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt the fool 'cause the funkin' was good. It was good in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood. Funkin' up the neighborhood, I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods. Funkin' up the neighborhood, funkin' up the neighborhood. I felt full 'cause the funkin' was good. Funk you in the city, funk you up in the woods.